You clicked on this video because you wanted to watch news. I'm not ready to hit the news button just yet, so this is currently me stalling. Here we go. I am no longer stalling. It's news time. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good breakfast. Do you wish people a good breakfast? Ah, yes. I hope you have a great dinner. Instead of good evening. Well, look, JPNN, we're dipping in the ratings. Okay. We got to get more scandalous with our news. Maybe we'll start throwing in some live stream fails. No. Anyways, we actually have kind of a fucking busy day of news. There's actually a lot of news right now. We're also about 45 minutes out from this Xbox thing, which is great because we'll probably jump into the news after this Xbox thing. I have no idea how long this is supposed to last. Xbox is saying that 343 Interactive, Double Fine, Ninja Theory, Obsidian, Playground Games, Rare, World's Edge, and others will be here for this Xbox Game Showcase Extended 2021. I'm expecting this to be a little cocky, a little interviewy. However, I do believe that Xbox understands to put videos while talking about video games within said interviews. I know it's a lot. Okay. That's a big ask. That's a big ask, but we'll see. It's a big ass and a big ask. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they're cooking up here in about 45. But before we get started with that, chat, there's a whole shit ton of news, which you might have been reading right here. Bunch of news right here on the old ticker. Let's get into it. The creator of Five Nights at Freddy's has announced retirement. He's looking to hand off the series. 11-year-olds in shambles everywhere. I don't know if there's any. Get his ass out of there. Oh, is he not a good person? Uh-oh. Is this a big deal? Did I step foot in some drama? The guy's a massive twat. Oh, great. He was canceled over the weekend. Oh boy. Turns out here at JPNN, we need to do a little bit more investigative reporting. What did he do? He donated to some Republicans? Oh. Oh, he donated to anti-LGBTQ things. Oh. So he's rich, is what you're saying. Okay. All right. Correct. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Well, he's out. He's gone. He's going to hand off the series and probably continue to do said donations, possibly double down after being canceled for said things. Because he's probably rich as fuck. He'll probably also still get royalty on all future game sales if he sells it properly. So, yeah, I guess he's probably walking away from it. I do think that it's going to be an interesting future as more of this stuff occurs, for sure. Because nothing's really going to change for him he's just going to continue making a lot of money. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that he got canceled, etc. But yeah, we're talking about the Five Nights at Freddy Creator. I had no idea that I was stepping on a landmine with that. And so now we're going to try to step off the landmine very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. I'm trying to see if there's like... I'm trying to see exactly like what happened, but half of the comments on this thread are just all deleted, and I think the thread has been locked. I don't necessarily want to read his statement. But I will read it to myself. Wait, what? This statement doesn't read how I expected it to read. Weird. That's a weird thing. Can we get the Cliff Notes version? No. You can go check it out, scottgames.com. I do wonder what happens to the future of that series, though. Because, like, how many Five Nights at Freddy's games are there? And aren't they all practically the same game? As someone who's never played it? There's a lot, right? Wasn't there one at Devolver or whatever? Like the Devolver Digital last year? I think that was coming out, right? Oh, we had a lot of merch. It's true. I guess he did have a lot of merch there. Huh. Well, that's the thing. You can go read about it. Let's move on. Let me see what else we got happening here. There's also loads of books. Yeah, I knew that the empire of Five Nights at Freddy's was huge. That was like one of the first, if I recall correctly, that was one of the first like YouTube bait games. So it kind of blew up with the help of content creators in a lot of ways. But yeah, why was it so popular with preteens? That I cannot answer, as it's not a preteen. As a former preteen, I probably can answer it, but as a current not preteen, I can't really answer it, you know? What the hell is that? Oh, that's crazy looking, Looney. Oh, I will read that later. Sorry, a lot of DMs flying today. Let's move on with the news. What what else is going on? It Takes Two has sold 2 million copies. Holy shit. That's kind of incredible. I knew that, I mean, that game's good, but we never finished it. 2 million copies. Damn. That's nutty. Hazelight Studios tweeted out, It Takes Two has sold 2 million copies. We're simply amazed by the passion you wonderful people have shown our game, and we couldn't be happier seeing so many fans of co-op out there. 2 million copies. Jeez Louise. It's a lot of spice. It's a lot of quiche. You know, that's a lot of fuck the Oscars, if you know what I'm saying. I wonder what that company goes on to make next. I wonder if they continue with the co-op only games, or if they go a different direction, or if there's DLC. I don't know. But that's awesome. Congrats to Hazelight Studios and Joseph Fares. Yeah, I wonder how many did A Way Out sell? That's a good question. Total sales A Way Out. Fares revealed in January 2021 that the game had sold more than 3.5 million copies. Holy shit. I had no idea that it did that well. What the fuck? That's absolutely insane. That's fantastic. Yeah, Joseph is doing all right. Hopefully he got a chunk of that, and EA didn't. Does that include free copies? I mean, it says sold, so maybe I would think not. Was there any way to get It Takes Two from free copies though? Because it wasn't on Game Pass. It was on. Is it on the EA Play Pass thing? What the fuck is that called? It was on EA Play. I think it was on PS Plus. I don't know if that would count as a sale. I guess it depends on how they determine what a sale is. But still, regardless, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy that many people played it. Kinda nutty. Almost as nutty as this Cyberpunk patch. Patch 1.23 is out for Cyberpunk. They just fixed a lot of quests in this patch, apparently. There's also some gameplay fixes. There's also some visual fixes. A lot of stability. Some PC specific stuff, some Xbox specific stuff. It seems like some stuff was fixed. Let's go into the comment section and see what they have to say. Oh, they're not very good, turns out. It's not going very well in the comment section. Turns out there's still a lot of shit broken in the game. I mean, I guess they didn't like add anything to it at the moment. They're just like fixing bugs, right? So, yeah. It's kind of unfortunate. It is what it is, though. Yeah, nothing fundamentally has changed. It's just like bug fixes, right? So, rough. Yeah, and I guess they probably are also adding bugs, right? Kinda yikes. PS5 and PS4 players can now share play together. What? Ask PlayStation tweets, PS5 and PS4 players can now share play together. Use share play to let a friend watch your gameplay, or even pass controllers virtually so they can try the game out. What? I didn't realize that was a thing. Your game screen appears on the visitor screen and the visitor plays as the host. The host must be a PlayStation Plus member. Wait, so does that... Huh. That's kind of cool. So for all of you not able to get a PS5, I'll be renting out my PS5 via the share play mode for $20 an hour. If you would like to play PlayStation 5 games, please contact me, and we'll work something out. Okay? Great. Great. I wonder if that would even work. That's the new thing that scalpers are going to start doing. Scalpers aren't going to sell their PS5s. They're going to set up... Oh my God, I probably shouldn't. I mean, they probably already thought of this. They're going to set up share play farms where you can rent PS5 share play so that you can really get interactive and play those PlayStation 5 games finally. And they're going to call it P Stadia 5. That's the name of it. That's the name of it. None of this is real. I hope it doesn't actually become real. Let's move on. Don't worry, that's already illegal. Is it? What do we have any lawyers in chat? What aspect would that be that would be illegal? Probably against toss. I guess they could ban your account, right, from PlayStation Plus if they caught you doing that. If it is against toss. But toss isn't law. It's just rules that the company sets up. So. How'd they find out? Probably if you're logged into the share play together on a serial number of a PSN or like a MAC address or something. I guess you could VPN. I don't know how they track that. There's probably ways. There's probably ways. Who knows? Maybe if you announce it live on Twitch. I mean, I didn't say that I was going to do this. I don't scalp PS5s. How's that any different from renting a console like back in the day from Blockbuster? I never really knew the logistics of that when it came to like renting consoles from Blockbuster, right? Because I remember back in like the N64 era, we rented an N64 before the Christmas that it came out because they were so hard to find. And then we eventually got one. But then we couldn't buy the games because back then you had to buy digital or buy physical games instead of having digital stuff. So games were actually hard to find. But I don't know like how that works. You also had to have a crazy deposit for it. I do remember that. You had to, I think you actually had to pay the price of the console. I don't really remember because I was 10 at that point. And I didn't understand literally anything except that Mario was a plumber and he could shoot fireballs out of his hands. And that was pretty fucking cool. That was pretty fucking cool. So yeah. Rented an N64 with Wave Race. It's true. It's true. Tyler Dog, thank you for that Prime Gaming sub. Back when he had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to the store to buy physical copies. That's a little personal story there, Londo. We had cars where I lived. Useling, thanks for 58. Anywho, let's move on. Absolute Drift is free to claim on GOG for the next 47 hours. What the fuck is Absolute Drift? I don't know what that is. It's free though, so go grab it. Go check it out. Oh, hey, there was another interview with Miyazaki discussing the gameplay of Elden Ring on Frontline JP. Is this a translation? What is this? Oh, yeah. This is kind of lengthy. I think we covered most of this. Player can freely customize the character's appearance, equip weapons, armor, and magic, and choose the stats they want to raise. One change is the skill system, returning from Dark Souls 3, which now has a higher level of freedom. Skills are not tied to specific weapons in Elden Ring. Players can mix and match weapons and skills. We already knew all that. I think that this is a full translation of everything when someone already bullet pointed out this stuff. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because they mentioned the spirit stuff in here, kind of like what Neo 2 had. Yep, so we've already kind of covered that. There's a new Pokemon Unite trailer. You guys want to watch a Pokemon trailer? It's gonna be great. Are we gonna get a Peggy? Here we go. Wait, so what is this game? It's a MOBA? What? Is it new? But it looks like they're... So wait, do the specific trainers go to each? Oh, by the way, this is not actual game footage. In case you guys weren't aware. What? The game's over, Pikachu. What are you doing? Chat, don't be like Pikachu. What the fuck is he doing? Oh, there's still time. Oh, okay. Pikachu's gonna murder that guy. Uh-oh. Or Pikachu's gonna die. Oh, they don't tell you what happened, chat. What happened is that Pikachu died. What the fuck? This looks like Heroes of the Storm. What the fuck? That guy was OP. Well, there you go. That's coming out next month. That's the thing. That's going to make a shit ton of money, I bet. Probably. Guys, just because Tencent makes it doesn't mean shit. You realize that like Tencent makes Tencent is like the sugar that's in foods. It's literally in everything that you could possibly consume, in both. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. There you go. Tencent is Nestle. Is Nestle in everything? No, because Nestle just owns water. Nestle makes some great water. Yes, the lawyers have given me a thumbs up for that. They make fantastic water there at Nestle. It's just the best. And, you know, whew, I don't know how they do it, chat, but their water is better than anyone else's water by such a large margin. Such a large margin. Thanks, lawyers. Let's move on. GTA Online for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 will shut down on December 16th. I wonder what the player base is on that. There's probably a lot of people, right? LA Noire and Max Payne 3 online services will also be shut down. I wonder, is there any way to like see how many people? Oh, what is this? I think there's still people playing, but it's not many. It's not many. Who knows? We'll never know. They don't want to pay for it anymore, so they're not gonna. They're not gonna. What is this? A multiplayer expansion will be released for Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect Connected, which is going to add crossplay, a live spectator mode, and more. The public beta test starts on June 23rd, which is next week, next Wednesday, I believe. All owners on Xbox, PlayStation, and Epic Games are invited. There's more information at tetriseffect.game/beta. Cool. We got another trailer from Everspace 2. This is called the Vortex teaser trailer. No idea what to expect, but here we go. Ooh, it's a long trailer too.
Welcome to the Zarkov system of Everspace 2.
What?
My name is Eric Schrader, the community ambassador for Rockfish Games.
What's up, Schrader?
I'll be giving you a little tour and talk about a few upcoming elements for the game. You may catch a couple placeholders,
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go
but
get
that's
tissue.
only because this is hot off the press. So let's get started. Zarkov itself exists as a massive celestial vortex orbiting around its star. And in that vortex lie a series of natural hazards like lightning and solar storms, as well as monumental cloud formations, rich with valuable resources. The vertical asteroids of Zarkov are a mysterious and dangerous place for passerbys and transports alike. A lot of failed deliveries and various secrets can be found out here.
This looks pretty good.
Even with all the natural protection the vortex provides, outlaws will still be outlaws though, and you can expect to see them around a lot of warp gates and trade lanes. By the time you've reached this sector, you should have found a couple playful and easy to use synergies to really capitalize on the moment. These outlaws thought they had
Does
me
this have a
outnumbered,
VR
but
component?
a quick use of the Annihilator virus evens the playing field in a heartbeat. Scattered across its vast storm, Zarkov holds reclusive sites that have remained long since dormant. Veteran pilots of Everspace 1 may recognize this territory to be quite ancient.
What?
All these fancy visuals are not just for show. If you venture into the storm, you will get burned.
What does that mean?
This mighty colonial warship is one of its many victims that it has swallowed. These
the first
lightning
one had
rods
VR?
wreak havoc against your ship's systems, leaving you vulnerable for attack, or simply on a collision course to the other asteroids nearby. You may run into opposing scavengers with really strong armor or powerful shielding, but you can bypass that entirely with the corrosion missile. This stackable corrosive effect eats away at the hull until there is simply nothing left to hold the target's frame together, and it just falls apart at the seams.
That seems really OP.
This entire sector is a gold mine for anyone into pilfering. But there's a lot more going on in this system that we haven't quite gotten to yet. It won't be much longer until we pull back that veil and reveal a slew of new opportunities for you in Everspace 2.
Whoa.
Hey, thanks for joining me in this little teaser of the Zarkov system. I've got to swing on out of here. But I'm sure we'll be talking
the
about
hell?
more Everspace 2 real soon. Toodles!
All right. Don't trust anyone that says toodles, chat, okay? Anyone that says toodles is not to be trusted. That is the official line of this news network. Okay? Anyways. Let's move on. Is the latest update of Warzone, the PS4 version on PS5 can now play at 120 hertz. The first PS4 backwards compatible game to be able to support 120 hertz on PS5. Great. I thought it was turtleneck wearers you didn't trust. You can trust more than 2 people. Or not trust more than 2 people. That's fine. But, you know. Don't trust turtleneck wearers. And also don't trust people that say toodles. They're probably the same person. Okay? They're probably the same person. There's a bunch of Tales of Arise footage, previews, and gameplay stuff. I saw a handful of them today. Places like 4gamer.net, Abyssal Chronicles, Akshu Gaming, Dengeki Online, EGM Famitsu, Game Informer, Game Rant, Game Watch, Rock Paper Shotgun, RPG Site, Screen Rant, Shack News, Silicon Era. Everyone's favorite at the moment, Kotaku. Let's go check out Game Informer. I want to be informed about video games, you know? I want to be informed about the video games. Tales of Arise is being called a reinvention for the venerable If Stuck in a Rut franchise. Anytime a long-established series uses the word reinvention, it's hard not to be skeptical. Change is scary and risky as developers try to toe the lines between restraining the elements fans cherish, also evolving the formula in different and interesting ways. I wasn't sure what side Tales of Arise would land on, but after going hands-on with the game, I feel much more confident in Bandai Namco's new vision for the series due to some smart tweaks to the combat and a new, interesting world that begs to be explored. Here's some of my takeaways. Wow, that looks really pretty. Vast new world with cool discoveries. This is actually a very long preview. Let's see if there's any interesting bits. Demo took place about 10 to 20 hours into the game when you finally have all your party members. What stuck out to me about the world outside of the breathtaking watercolor-like aesthetics was just how much is hidden off the beaten path to discover. From items such as ores to crafting to ingredients for recipes, there's always seemed to be a reward for taking time to explore. That I like, you know? I'm a big fan of that. At one point, I came across a small farm with cows, pigs, and horses grazing. And of course, the cows provide milk to use in cooking recipes. Yes, cooking is back. Bandai Namco said it will talk about this feature more at a later date, but so far it looks like what you've come to expect from these types of systems, offering stat boost in battle, like giving you more attack power for a certain duration. Great. Alternate paths are all around if you seek them out. Later, I found a hidden stream which had a waterfall, a small cave housing a valuable chest. I played the demo 3 times, and each time I found a new discovery, whether it was a hidden area or treasure to unearth. It appears that Bandai Namco is packing a ton into the zones so they don't feel like big empty spaces like in previous games. Great. Tales of Arise isn't open world, but it certainly feels grander than any other Tales game. Okay. What did they say about the combat? The action is still fast-paced and combo-driven, where you swap between regular attacks and your arts. You can string up to 3 normal attacks together, but this limit can be increased when you learn certain skills. I was impressed with how smooth the controls felt, the variety of attacks at my disposal, and the satisfaction that comes from delivering those satisfying cinematic special moves. Battlefield remains chaotic, which means it can be hard to keep track of everyone when the action heats up. 4 total party members will be on the field at once. It's nothing new. Final paragraph is Tales of Arise makes a lot of smart tweaks to the Tales core formula. I can't say much about the story, but I saw a lot of promise in what I played. Varied enemy types with different weaknesses and characters having their own special skills via boost attacks to capitalize on what feels like steps in the right direction. Time will tell how it stakes out, but I'm optimistic about the future of the franchise. I just think it looks pretty. I mean, that'll be enough to get me in, right? That'll be enough to get me involved. We're about 10 minutes out from this Xbox thing. So what do you say we watch another trailer? I'm excited. There's a trailer for Bright Memory. That man's not going to have memory. Because he's dead. Is this just Shadow Warrior, the game? What the hell? The screen shake is like on an absolute another level. I actually cannot like watch what's happening in the stream. Oh. Is it called Infinite because it's like a new release, or like what does that actually mean? I don't know what that means, chat. That was a lot of stuff. Anyways, what else is there? Steam Next Fest is here. We talked about that yesterday on Drop Frames. It is a showcase of game demos. If you want to check that out. Oh, that's not good. The Ubisoft studio Massive had its studio head, David Polfelt, leave the company, step down. He's a 16-year-old or 16-year veteran of the company. Effective July 1st. Ubisoft Massive just announced their brand new game at this past weekend's Ubisoft Forward with the Avatar game. Trying to see if there's in a memo to staff today, Ubisoft head of studios Virginie Haas said Polfelt had informed management last fall that he was, quote, ready for a new challenge. He will begin a 6-month sabbatical on July 1st and will return to Ubisoft in a strategic role. Ubisoft has identified a new leader for Massive who will start in October, but Haas wrote that they cannot announce that person yet due to a legal agreement with his current employer. Huh. The only time you're ever given a sabbatical for that long of a thing is typically not good. Unless he's just straight up dead and like doesn't want to work anymore. He's burnt the fuck out. 16 years in the game industry is a long time. But it's nowhere as long as watching 3 minutes of ads, chat. Because they're going to happen here. If you don't want to see those ads, you don't have to. Cough up a Prime Gaming sub. Maybe a 3-month sub. Maybe a 6-month sub. You can be on a sabbatical just like him and hang out here for 6 months and never see an ad. There might even be some gifted subs in the chat. I'm not begging for them, but they might happen. You never know. Who can say? Who can really say? We got 3 minutes of ads, then we'll watch this Xbox thing happen in about 5 minutes. Here we go. Thank you for that Prime Gaming sub. Old B-Rad Jesus. Let me see if there's anything... Huh. Weird. I wonder what that means for that game. Probably, I guess nothing. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say. Just like some of these sub names, we've got Shining Bard with the Prime sub. We got Vison with the Prime sub. We got Battle 35 with the Prime sub. We got Andy Barles with the Prime sub. Hey on dropping 16 definitions with the Prime sub. Totally Tim with the Prime sub. 10 gifted subs from an anonymous gifter. Etern Forever with the Prime sub. And another 5 gifted subs from Shoda43. See, chat? This is why we run ads every hour. Because people need to be reminded to use their Prime Gaming sub. And I need some water really bad. Because I'm having a hard time talking. And now we've got a scam train started. Now we're scamming them. We're scamming all day. We're just churning the content machine here, making the monies on JPNN. It's crazy. It's crazy. Blue Smoke with 5 gifted subs. Barry Carlisle with 5 gifted subs. Johan with the Prime Gaming. Lore Mike with the Hundo Cheer. We got Top Geek gifting 10 subs. This is everyone's favorite part of the newscast. When the anchor just makes money for doing nothing. You know? It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways. Okay. Stop gifting subs. Now I feel this is stupid. You guys got to stop. The scam train's already in full effect. We don't need to go any harder. Nice Guy Nick with the 5 gifted subs and Esmon with the 10. Now I owe 51 gifted subs. Empty Cortex or Complex with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you. It's a lot. That's it. Okay. Nookie with the 5 gifted subs. Now we're... You know, now this is just awkward, chat. Now this is just awkward. Okay? Speaking of ads, moving on. Okay, dude. It's Noxid with the gifted sub. We got an anonymous gifter to Origin. We got 20 from Ghost. I am Will dropping the Prime Gaming sub. Speaking of ads, chat, Oculus is currently testing in-headset VR ads. What does that even mean? Like, how does that even work? Are you just like watching some VR porn and then all of a sudden like cock pills show up in the headset? There's just a giant penis like right in front of you saying like, buy the cock pills. That's probably what's going to happen. I don't know if I like the idea of VR ads. That's awful. Do they have a like what it's gonna look like? I mean, hold on. Let's go to oculus.com/blog. Huh. Uh-oh. No, Barry, that's not a key chat alert. I'm already looking at that page. Bombers, thank you for that hundo cheer. Appreciate that. Cyberonic, Dekagi, thank you for the Prime Gaming subs. Darth Zombie. Yeah, I think, let me look at something. The hell did Jesse just message me that for? That was weird. Let me look at something here real quick before I say something that will get me in trouble. We might have our animated emotes going live today. Maybe. Maybe. That might be happening. Anyways, chat, we've got some breaking news. Valenti, thanks for that hundo cheer. It's time, chat. We've got some breaking news here. This Xbox event is about to happen in 30 seconds. So buckle up, motherfuckers. Also, if you want to grab a limited edition drop frame shirt, go over to itmeJP/DF and grab yours today before supplies run out. But they're not really going to run out because they're printing to numbers, but do so in a certain amount of time or they will not be available anymore. Thank you. In 5. Let's see what this is. I think this might be kind of long. I also wonder if this is live or pre-recorded. We'll find out here very soon, I would imagine.
If there is wonder, that place in our dreams.
Everyone, sit back, relax. I'm gonna make my camera a little smaller. Thank you guys for that hype train. That was very nice. By hype, I mean scam. You guys are great. 81 subs.
Bring me that horizon.
Incredible. Yeah, I wonder if we're even allowed to restream this. Kind of didn't figure that out. It's okay. You know, if we get DMCA'd, fuck it. I got 3 of them. You hate the term nodders? There any nodders in chat? There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh my God, that looks crazy with the nopers in there as well. Stop it, chat. It's too much. This is what they used at the end of the conference.
Hello, and welcome to Xbox Game Showcase Extended. I'm your host, Paris Lilly. You may also know me from Gamertag Radio and Kind of Funny. I'm excited to be here with you today. We just saw a recap of Sunday's Xbox Showcase.
Very good at his job.
Wow, 30 games from some of the world's most talented developers, and 27 of those games are coming to you on Xbox Game Pass. We saw the first in-engine footage of Starfield and learned that, yes, Bethesda is bringing it to Xbox, PC, and day one on Game Pass exclusively. They also showed us Battlefield 2042.
He must be baking in that hoodie.
Thieves,
I think he's probably comfortable.
Stalker 2, Psychonauts 2, and how about Redfall? Like they said, this year, Xbox is all about the games. Today, Xbox Game Showcase Extended is our chance to hear from the developers behind the games that are redefining interactive entertainment. Developers like Double Fine, Playground Games, Supergiant, Rare, 343 Industries, and more. We also have a new accessory design program to share with you, and a couple of other cool surprises. That's enough talk. Let's jump right in.
Oh, you mean the most anticipated game of E3 2021 is voted on by E3?
You can get it.
You can see it for yourselves. Forza Horizon 5 looks phenomenal. And here with us today, all the way from the UK, is Mike Brown from Playground Games. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, great to be here.
You know what I
Now,
want,
Mike,
chat?
Forza Horizon
I want
has
Paris's
taken driving
voice.
fans to Colorado, France, Italy, Australia, and the UK. How did you decide on Mexico for Forza Horizon 5?
Listen to that voice.
Yeah, so we knew right from the start that we wanted it to be the largest
Mike
Horizon
Brown,
yet.
how many cars have you
but it's not
fucked?
far down the path from that you realize you don't want to go big if it's just going to be more of the same. So we also knew that it needed to be the most contrasting, most diverse open world we'd ever built. And then when you start to look at Mexico, it really is like the whole world in one country. It's got snowy peaks, tropical jungles, epic canyons, amazing beaches, beautiful architecture, incredible historic cities, but also modern cities as well. It really has everything. And then you add in the culture, the music, the artwork, the people, the history. And there really is no more exciting location for the Horizon Festival.
Now that we're in Mexico, what are some of the authentic elements?
I read
that
a
we can
take
expect
the
in
other day
game?
that this is the first time,
Totally. So we've got the largest,
at least
and most
in recent
diverse
memory,
world
and I
we've ever
couldn't,
built. And as I mentioned just a moment
I
ago,
couldn't name it any,
something that really excites us about
that Mexico has
is
ever
that
been portrayed in
we
this
work
way.
with creatives from all
Usually
across
it's like,
Mexico. We've had
oh,
Mexican
yeah, we got
artists produce
drugs in
beautiful
Mexico.
mural artwork that you find on the walls
We got
of
a
the
lot of
game.
drugs
We've
down
worked
there.
with
It's
Mexican
bad. We
music
got the
acts to produce
cartel.
original compositions
This
for the
one's
game.
like, no,
We've worked
Mexico's
with
actually,
Mexican
like, pretty
scriptwriters
awesome.
and actors, so that all of those Mexican voices you hear in the game will sound really authentic.
Yeah, and there's like a
And
filter.
perhaps not as obvious,
Yeah.
But the other thing that is super
I don't know if you guys
authentic
know
is
this,
a
but if
lot of
you
light data and
actually
skies.
go to
So we had a team
Mexico
out in Mexico,
and
with
the
our
Middle
12K
East, there's not
HDR
just
sky
a, like,
capture rig. We captured more than
sepia
400
filter
hours
over
of
everything.
sky data.
It's
and then
actually
we
not
recreate
real.
that in
It's
game.
kinda crazy.
So all of the light, the shadows, the color information.
It shocked me
all
too.
Of it is recreated in game based on real light data captured from Mexico. So everything you're seeing there is just has that
Look at that
real
car.
authenticity, that feeling of reality.
Now, we got a peek at Event Lab. Now, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Event Lab is a really exciting new suite of tools that will allow people in the community to create whatever they can imagine, really. If we look at the video right now, all of this that we see has been built
Oh my God,
using
Koch
that Event
Media
Lab
is in
toolset.
shambles. They're
The
showing
bowling pins
videos
that have
of
been
the
placed.
games
So someone's gone they've
while
placed those, and
talking
then they've
over
created
them.
rules that touch on them as well. So as we see, every time they're hitting them, a rule has been set up such that it gives players points. And then also in that clip, you can see that
We give
everyone
out
else in
sepia
that
glasses
multiplayer
at the
session is
airport
hitting
to
bowling
not
pins
shock
as well.
foreigners.
And
I
all of that
believe
is
it
adding
more.
into a collective team score. The rules could have easily been set up so that it wasn't a team score, that it was competitive. All of that creative freedom is open to players. It's as a game designer, I think it's the feature that I'm most excited about in Forza Horizon 5.
And I would say, as a gamer, it's a feature I'm definitely excited about because this really is going to open up some unique features between me and my friends. Now, with the power of the Xbox Series X and the S, what are some of the new technical features that we can expect?
So in Forza Vista, we're really able to turn up everything, ramp everything on, turn on ray tracing, and we have the cars looking more realistic
Barry, why'd you
than
just
they ever
gift the
have
sub to
before.
Koch
Unparalleled
Media?
detail.
Now they're gonna
But that
show up
detail,
and-
it does apply to the rest of the world as well.
Tell me
During
I'm
the,
going to
Xbox
German
E3
jail.
showcase the other day, I mentioned
Gonna eat
modeled the
someone's
detail and
schnitzel.
everything, right down to the individual needles on the Choya cactus.
How would you do that?
That was just the plants that happened to be closest to the camera at that point.
They didn't know I
That
existed
level of
before
detail
this,
is applied
Barry.
to everything that you see. And
I was
thanks to
the
power
only
of the Xbox
streamer
Series
not
consoles,
sponsored.
It's not just things that are right in front of the camera as well. We've really been able to push out all of the LODs and the draw distance and everything so that everything in the scene is full of that detail. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we capture that light data from Mexico, so you get this realistic lighting, shadows, AO.
This game
all
looks
of it comes
insane, by the
together
way.
to create a scene that just looks real.
Now, Mike, when can the world expect to play Forza Horizon 5?
Sure. So we're launching this holiday on the Xbox
This is
Series
about what I
consoles, the
expected. It
Xbox
seems
One
to be kind of a
consoles. We're
recap.
on PC, on both the Windows 10 Store and Steam. Of course, we're in Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate, and you can play us on your Android device with Xbox Cloud Gaming. And players who purchase the Premium Edition, or if they're a Game Pass subscriber and get the Premium Add-ons bundle, you'll get early access as well, so you'll be able to play a little bit earlier than everybody else.
I think the
Now,
premium
Mike, this
edition
was
is like
a huge moment for
130
you and the
bucks or
team.
something like
what
that.
does this mean to you?
Yeah, well, for me personally, I mean, I've been working on the Forza franchise for a really, really long time, but this is my first game as creative director.
Is it $100?
In this period over the last few days and week or so, as people are
Something
seeing
was-
it for the first time, for
Something
me, it's
was
probably
a,
been one of the
was
most
it Far
exciting
Cry
experiences
6
of my
that
life.
had
It's
the
been absolutely
$130
incredible.
version?
Again, Mike, thank you so much for being here.
It didn't come with a statue.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Later in the show, we'll be hearing from the developers behind games like Age of Empires 4, Shredders, and Grounded. But first, the team at Ninja Theory has something to share with you.
Now this
Here's
is new.
Tamim, Chief Creative Ninja, to explain what they've been hard at work on for Hellblade 2.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our brand spanking new Ninja House in Cambridge. I wanted to give you an update on the work so far for Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. What we're doing right now
This
is
guy's
building a
way
good
too
chunky
cool to
slice
be
of
a
the
video game
before we
developer.
then move into full production to build out the rest. Hellblade was very special for us, and we didn't want to do a straight sequel. We wanted to do something extra special, and so we're making our lives as difficult as possible in that pursuit.
Also, every time he
The game
moves,
is
his
set
leather
in
is
Iceland,
creaking.
9th century Iceland. So we've been sending out art and audio teams out there, doing photography, photogrammetry, and combining it with satellite data to recreate large swathes of the landscape. On the character front, we're building real costumes, scanning them in. We're collaborating with Epic Games to bring you next-generation digital characters. On the combat front, we want it to be extra real and brutal. And so Melina, our main actress, has been training for 2 years, and all of our animators have undergone combat training. And so what you're going to see here is not a trailer, it's not a gameplay reveal, but rather a montage of the kind of work we've been up to. Hope you like it.
Hey, they set expectations, you know? That's good. Also, that guy's really cool. Yeah, I'm into this so far.
Will you follow me
No, you're a fucking crazy cult lady.
on this journey?
No.
By sea, by land,
I'll never touch this game. It's too fucking scary for me.
through the valleys of despair, over the mountains of rage, to the depth of fear in my mind. You might see me as weak.
This is already
I will
fucked up.
show you what lies behind my eyes. With our swords,
We will forge new stories to strike the gods that haunt us. We will embrace our suffering, soothe our scars of grief, and break their siege of our minds. They may see them as gods, but we will show them what lies behind our eyes.
Too spooky for me.
Er I á fjalli, yndis njóta.
Okie dokie. Oh, hey, look at this. Perhaps I'll have more to say about this soon.
Looking in the mirror, come in a little clearer. The crowd is getting louder. I got this wild power, heartbeat, count to 3.
This is also not the sponsored stream for later today. Let me take a look at something.
And that is Xbox Design Lab. And here to tell us more about Xbox Design Lab is Naveen Kumar. Naveen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Paris.
So, what is Xbox Design Lab?
Design Lab is a controller customization service on Xbox.com where you can choose nearly any color combination you want for your controller and really make it yours.
Can't say anything
You can design
yet.
a controller
I need
based
15
off your
minutes.
favorite video game character, your favorite sports team, or whatever inspires you. And you can think of Design Lab as your own personal design studio. Now, we've originally launched Design Lab 5 years ago and have since sold millions of controllers to fans around the world. But then we had to take a pause as we brought up our latest generation of Xbox hardware. But now we're back offering customization on the latest generation Xbox wireless controller.
Now, we have so many awesome controllers here right now. Can you kind of talk a little bit about them?
Yeah, well, right off the bat, you can see there's tons of color options to choose from. For most of the parts on the controller, you can choose among 18 different colors for all the different pieces on the exterior. 3 of those colors are brand new to Design Lab. We have Shock Blue, Pulse Red, and my personal favorite, the Electric Volt color. Most of the colors include post-consumer recycled resins in them. So there's a portion of things that are ground up, like automotive headlights, recycled water bottle jugs,
That's wild.
things that make the controller more eco-friendly. We also have new button options for the ABXY button set and the View Menu Share, including a really cool button option for ABXY that's a throwback to the original Xbox 360 controller. So you got to check that out. And yeah, this is just the beginning. We're excited to introduce more customization options over time.
Now, 2 of these controllers were inspired by games. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so there's a blue and green and purple one that's inspired by Psychonauts 2. We just love the key art for that one, so we work with our partners to develop a controller to help bring that to life. And there's also one that's inspired by Grounded and the aphid character from that game. We had a lot of fun in designing that as well, as the controller kind of looks like an aphid if you look at it from the right angles.
Now, I created my own controller. I'm going to pick it up now. I'm a huge Los Angeles Lakers fan.
He
World
created
champion
his
Los
own,
Angeles
Chet. That's
Lakers,
crazy.
And my design was inspired by that, so I went with the yellow on the front. I went with the purple on the back. I designed the buttons kind of with the black accent along with the shoulders and the triggers. But I also did an inscription on it, and my inscription says, "Ka can't cook." And that is inspired by my good friend, Khalif Adams. He does a fantastic show called Spawn on Me. But he's
awesome.
a terrible cook. So I want to make sure that every time I pick up a controller to play on Xbox, I'm reminded how terrible of a cook he is and to avoid it at all costs. But enough of terrible cooking. Let's talk about something that you designed.
Yeah, I designed this controller right in front of me here. Again, on my favorite color, this Electric Volt. I just love the way that the midnight blue accents pop against it. The dark ABXY colors. And this
really
was inspired
good.
by a pair of sneakers I have at home, so I had to make a controller based off that.
They go
That's
on,
awesome.
or they
Now,
go
one
off on
last
each other
thing.
on Twitter
When can fans
nonstop, Chat.
expect
It's really
to start
funny.
designing their own Xbox controllers?
They can start today by visiting xbox.com/Xbox Design Lab. There's tons of inspirations to choose from. Customization is really fun, and we're shipping controllers to US, Canada, and most Western European countries. And these make great gifts, whether it's for yourself or that special gamer in your life.
That is
Wait,
fantastic.
did they just go
Naveen,
live,
Thank you
Barry?
so much for being here.
Thanks, Paris.
Later in the show, World's Edge will give us a deeper look at Age of
I don't
Empires
think they're
4.
live.
But first, Tim Schafer is giving us a closer look at Psychonauts 2.
Hi everybody, I'm Tim Schafer from Double Fine Productions here today to take a deeper look into Psychonauts
They're live!
2. Psychonauts 2 is an action-adventure game starring Rasputin Aquato,
Wait.
a powerful young psychic,
Yes!
also a trained acrobat, who ran away from his circus home to join the Psychonauts
Refresh,
and expand and explore his psychic abilities. One of Raz's most important psychic abilities is that of astral projection, which allows him to project his psyche into someone else's mind and see their mental landscape made real. He can help them wrestle with their inner demons and fight their actual nightmares in person. Which means that the levels in the game are actually brains. And Psychonauts 2 has even more brains than the first game. One of the first brains you'll get to visit is that of Caligosto Lobato. Now, Dr. Lobato was actually a villain in the first game, but after Raz fought him, they kind of became friends. He actually has a piece of information that Raz wants, which is who kidnapped Truman Zanotto. And Dr. Lobato wants to tell you, but he can't, because of something going on deep in his unconscious mind. So Raz has to travel, along with Sasha, Mia, and Coach Oleander, into his mind and try to extract that information. And there's a lot of forces at work inside Lobato's mind, maybe put there by someone else, who are trying to stop you.
I feel like they've
including some
broken
of
chat.
the enemies that you might recognize from the first Psychonauts game, including the sensors, entities designed to stamp out thoughts that don't belong in someone's mind, including Raz, who doesn't belong here. But you also see a lot of new enemies, such as doubts and regrets. Lobato's mind is plagued with doubts and regrets, and they're very dangerous for Raz. Did I mention there's a lot of teeth?
They're
Have I mentioned
broken
there's a lot
for
of teeth?
chat.
There's a lot of teeth. He's an amateur dentist. He doesn't know a lot about teeth, but he really, really likes them. Luckily, to fight all these enemies, Raz will have his psychic powers, including his powerful psychic punch, where he has these hands that extend psychically from his body into a powerful melee combo. He also has his psychic blast, where he can shoot a powerful energy beam out of his brain. Raz also has the ability of pyrokinesis. It's always handy to be able to burn things with your
I
mind.
wonder if it's because I'm using
And
pop-out chat.
levitation. Raz can use his own thoughts, his own thought bubble over his head as a balloon to float around or ride around on to get somewhere really quickly. So with these new powers, Raz can fight all these new enemies and hopefully find out who kidnapped Truman Zanotto. Now, while Truman's been kidnapped, the person running
Could also be
Psychonauts
FFZ.
is Hollis
Could be.
Forsyth, the second head of the Psychonauts. Hollis is also the head of the intern program, which is what Raz has joined now that he's become part of the Psychonauts. And he is invited into Hollis's brain for instruction. Hollis is teaching him a new psychic ability called mental connection, where you can see two thoughts in someone's mind and connect them, sometimes creating new thoughts, making new things happen. While Raz is training in mental connection inside of Hollis's mental classroom, he experiments a little too far and accidentally, maybe slightly on purpose, creates a lot of interesting gambling inside of Hollis's mind because he wants to go on the mission to the Lady Luctopus Casino. Unfortunately, this connection leads to more connections, and eventually the whole thing gets out of Raz's control, and Hollis gets way too interested in gambling. And Raz has to go back into her mind, where he finds out that her memories of medical school, and where she studied neurology, have been corrupted by this gambling interest, and it becomes a casino hospital. And Raz has to actually go in there and engage with all these gambling machines in order to shut it down and return Hollis's mind back to normal. And she's gonna be really mad. Inside Hollis's mind, you'll see bigger, tougher sensors that have turned into bouncers inside the
Tim's
casino.
straight up just
and also
spoiling
a new
shit.
enemy called Bad Idea. Where Bad Ideas spawn actual nasty-looking light bulbs over their head that become dangerously explosive and blow up in Raz's face. Now, headquarters. One of the things that happens in Psychonauts 2 that's most exciting to Raz is that he gets to visit the headquarters of the Psychonauts themselves, which is called the Mother Lobe. This is the center for all Psychonauts activity, and Raz gets to see his old friend Sasha and
Where's the
Mia,
live
who were
new special
counselors
branded
at summer
Xbox
camp
controller?
in the first game.
It's on
He
the
now gets to see
design
where they
lab
work.
somewhere
He
on
gets to see their
Xbox.com.
offices, he gets to see their labs, he gets to see their co-workers, other agents in the field, but also he gets to see the admin and maintenance staff as they go about their business and hang out in the cafeteria, and sort of the everyday happenings of what appears to be normal in the Psychonauts world. There are a lot of little hidden pathways and treasures around the base that he can find, side quests and scavenger hunts and things that you might recognize from the first game. There's a lot of characters to meet, a lot of fun things to discover, a lot of secrets about the Psychonauts themselves, and the lore of the founding of the Psychonauts, including the Psychic Six, who were seen on stumps around the campfire in the first game, but now we get to go much deeper into the story of how they played a part in the founding of the Psychonauts, how they were brought together and recruited by Ford Cruller and turned into this amazing international espionage force. One of the things that was so important about the first game was exploring this natural environment around the summer camp, all the little hidden paths and caves where Raz's adventures took place. And so in the second game, we've expanded on that. There's an even bigger natural environment, multiple natural environments around the headquarters that you can explore. There's a quarry outside the Mother Lobe, which is where they dug out these massive deposits of Psytanium. Psytanium, this psychoreactive mineral that amplifies and changes psychic powers. There's lots of secrets around the quarry, lots of abandoned mines and caves and things to explore. And next door to the quarry is an abandoned roadside attraction called the Questionable Area, a sort of power vortex of strange happenings, which is also caused by the Psytanium deposits in the area. Water flows uphill, animals behave strangely. There's caves dedicated to the mystery of the Sasclops, which is a giant one-eyed being that might have existed and might not have. Here in the Questionable Area, Raz's family is camped out, his entire family, as if to embarrass him in front of his new Psychonauts friends. His family has showed up and they want him back in the circus. It turns out some of his family members, including his own father, have a little bit of psychic power themselves, and they'll be exploring that in Psychonauts 2, and you'll get to find out who put this curse on Raz's family to die in water. The Quados have been cursed by a mysterious character to all die in water, and this manifests itself in the form of the Hand of Galokio, which is this hand that comes out of the water, which is really just Raz's psychic construct. Raz is so afraid of water because of the curse put on his family that every time he comes near water, this creepy hand comes out and tries to grab him and pull him under, which is all happening inside of Raz's head. In Psychonauts 2, you'll get to find out who put this curse on Raz's family, where it came from, and what he can do about it. The story you uncover about the curse put on Raz's family links back into the story of the foundation of the Psychonauts, and Raz finds out that his family and the Psychonauts family are actually more intertwined than he believed. So there's a lot of mystery to discover for the player and Raz and his family and his friends as they explore the connections between his family and the Psychonauts and what it all has to do with Maligula. Maligula is one of the first villains the Psychonauts ever fought. She's a powerful psychic and she's a mass murderer, and she's been believed to be dead for many years, but there's a lot of unknown things going on behind the scenes and a lot of mysteries and a lot of plots for the player to uncover in Psychonauts 2. So that's it. Thanks for taking this deeper look.
You don't have to play the game.
With me.
We told you everything that's happening, guys.
25th.
Play it on August 25th.
Now. So I'll stop talking so you can go and do that. Thanks for watching.
Great.
Hello?
This is that 4-player horde game, right?
Leo?
That looked kind of rough.
Lance! Get on!
Yep.
No problem. Stick together and let's do this. Is this a disco?
I think this game is about, I think this game's plot is 4 streamers who are all trying to run ads on their channel, but Chad is really pissed off about it.
Shooting just straight to the bridge.
I think that's what this game's about.
Heavy. Really? We call them tanks.
I call them brutes. From Latin, Brutus.
We'd sound smart calling them brutes.
Eon, you don't want to get in here and help name these?
Oh boy, we're getting one of these.
Brute!
We're getting one of these, chat. Oh wait, never mind, we're not.
The Anacrusis is looking like a game I didn't realize I needed in my life. And here from Stray Bombay to tell us more about the Anacrusis is Chet Felisek. Chet, thank you for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Now, talk to me about this game,
Chet
the
used to work at
Anacrusis.
Valve?
What's the concept? How did you come up with this?
So I grew up with late 60s, early 70s sci-fi. I love that stuff, right? Logan's Run, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999. That wasn't cheesy to me or campy. That was just the way sci-fi was. And so we wanted to set a game in that world, right? We have those cool colors,
I'm
cool
pretty
shapes,
sure I either had
fantastical sci-fi
dinner
weapons and creatures. And then it also lends
or
itself
something
to
at a
we
PAX
wanted
with
something
this
that was
guy.
positive about the players, the characters. You're working together. Sure, there's aliens. Sure, you're fighting them. Sure, you're trying to save Earth. But you're doing it in a positive, uplifting way. Yeah, after the pandemic, I don't think I could go back to a dreary, post-apocalyptic world. I need something uplifting, and so we wanted to deliver that.
That's awesome. Now, talk to me about the gameplay. You've said that there's an infinite replayability to this. So how does that factor in?
Yeah, so there's 4-player co-op. You're playing with your friends, and what we want to do is make sure that it's different every time you're playing it. And so we have a lot of different systems that do that, but underneath it all is the idea of the AI driver. The AI driver is driving everything that's happening in the game with items, where they're placed, what's happening with the creatures, what's happening with your health kits, your perks. All of those systems are driven off of that. And so what that means is, as you're playing, not only do you have those, hey, this last time we played this, there was nothing here, and this time we're being overwhelmed. Yeah. And then you also have those peaks and valleys so that you have some downtime. And
It's
you have
interesting
some
that we're getting
really
Left
big
4 Dead
uptime in
clones
it,
again.
or a lot of combat happening in it. We're also
It's
monitoring.
almost like
how
time
people
is a
are playing.
flat
So if
circle,
you're
you
first
know?
time playing and your team isn't doing very well, we'll put health kits right on the main path for you to find. And then if you don't find them at first, we'll spawn a couple more later. But if you're really good, if you're really killing it, well, we might not put anything on the main path. And so if you want to go find your perks,
Yeah,
if you
just
want to go
like
find
Earth
your weapons,
North.
you have to
That's
go
correct.
off that main path and go search for that. And it makes the game just a little bit harder, but in a way more interesting way than just saying, hey, let's double the health of all the enemies.
Right.
And then we do something of, we actually look from session to session as well. So if you play with the same 3 friends every week, and you guys have been killing it for 10 weeks in a row, Well, let's mix it up for you. Let's just throw something crazy at you that you've never seen before and a million aliens. And we can do that because normally when you do difficulty, you've got to be here because you don't know what happened before or after. But here, we have these really big peaks and valleys, so we can bring you to nothing for a little bit and then have it go crazy.
I love that it's scaling to your basically your skill level, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, kind of deeper dive more into the perk system that you're going to have in the game.
So for the perks, we looked at a lot of games where you start with, let's say, a class-based thing, and then if you're playing with your same friends, well, I'm going to be support, you're going to be carry, someone else can be help. Like we kind of get into a rut of what systems we're playing and how we're playing, and so we want to be able to mix that up so that every time
He's
you're
played
playing,
some
you're also
Dota before.
kind of choosing your role based on the perks you're getting. So perks come in this thing called the meta compiler, and you have to go find the meta compilers in the world. And once you find one, you'll have from 1 to 3 perks to choose from. And then over time, you're essentially building a deck for your character. And so you might have it where, if you saw in the trailer, there's a pulse, which is kind of like a melee shove. Well, you can invest into that, and you can have one that you can now recharge your pulse faster, and now it protects your other players around you. And then it gets more powerful, and you can actually do damage with it. So all of a sudden, you went from being a support character playing in the back to leading the charge going forward and knocking down aliens and everyone else blasting them. Or you'll get a bunch of perks that are about investing in one weapon and making it where when you do headshots, it actually does damage to other aliens around. So now you're the sniper hanging back. And so it's really mixing up that kind of experience that you're having. And you'll earn these perks as you play. So the more you play, the more perks you have. But since we want the game to always be great to play with your friends, if you've been playing, let's say you play with me. I've been playing 400 hours. You're brand new.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we share the perks. So you get all the perks that I have available to me as well. So that way you get to have that experience of all
that's
that
cool.
craziness in your game as well. Because it's all about having fun with your friends.
Right, the shared experience with your friends. Now, we kind of already talked about the
400
inspirations,
hours.
like 2000. I looked at that and it was like 2001: Space Odyssey was the first thing I thought of. But let's talk more about the enemies in the game. What was some of the inspirations for that?
So the enemies is we kind of look at it of how we want the players to behave as well as feel. And so we bring in outside playtesters every week. They play our game, we watch them, and what we'd see is really good teams would stick together really tightly. And even if we send something like the Brute at them that spreads them apart, they'd quickly form back together. So we created something called the spawner.
Yeah.
And this is a good example of kind of how we approach the design. The spawner you hear off in the distance, and you'll hear it, and you know what it's doing. It's spawning things. It spawns these little turrets that come at you. They're not the worst thing, but they're going to be unrelenting until you kill the spawner. And so you'll be sticking with your team, and you'll be like, oh, wait a minute. If the spawner comes now, and this turrets come, and we've got a guy down, we've got to go over there, I'm not sticking with my team. I'm going to go hunt that thing down. I'm going to go kill it. So you go run off, you kill it, you're feeling good about it, and all of a sudden you realize, wait, where are my teammates? I'm all alone. There's other specials here. Oh, I'm in trouble. And it's trying to create those kind of moments where it's mixing it up, where you always want to have it where it kind of almost takes turns of one player's the last one surviving, they're the last one up, and they're helping everybody else up and get it going. And so really looking at having those enemies give you those moments for how it affects the players.
Bonus question for you. What does the Anacrusis actually mean?
So Anacrusis is a musical term. It means the notes before the song, the little kind of intro. And for this, we have a character, Boris, that you never meet. And the other players just talk about it because I thought it was fun to have this character that you never really are sure
Oh, shit, that is
who
the
they are
Atari
because
logo.
everyone else describing it. And she named the barge that you're on, that you're launching these missions, the Anacrusis. And her thought there was, this is not the main event. This is not us against the aliens with fighter pilots and everything else. This is just regular people. This is the pre-battle to the battle. This is finding out about these aliens and what just happened.
Oh, that sounds so cool. Again, the Anacrusis, everything that you talked about today, it sounds amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But Chet, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We've got so
I wonder how
much
much that
more
game's
coming
going to change
in today's show,
after
including
E3.
Obsidian Entertainment with Grounded, iLlusions and Let It Roll with Shredders, and 343 Industries with a deeper dive on that incredible multiplayer trailer for Halo Infinite.
Nice.
But first, the original Stalker was one of the most
Oh,
intense
shit.
and eerie games of its era. Next year, we return to Chernobyl
Code
for
just
Stalker 2.
let out a
And Zach from GSC Game
wherever
World
he's at
has
right
a
now.
closer look at the game. Let's check it out.
Mr.
Hi
Castle,
everyone, it's Zach from
we're going
GSC
to put a
Game
bathroom
World.
right
it
here.
It has been several days since the gameplay review of Stalker 2.
What was
Our
that,
game
sir?
now has a subtitle,
sorry.
Heart of Chernobyl, and a release date of April
Eastern
28,
European
2022.
video
By
game,
the way,
FPS,
the pre-orders are open for both PC and Xbox. You're obviously here willing to learn more, so here are several details about Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl you probably didn't know yet. So let's dive a little bit deeper in
By
our
the way,
trailer. This section of the trailer is a bandit's gunfight on the chemical plant.
Hold on, I want to watch this.
You can see the actual in-game animations of picking up the weapons and installing modifications on the go. The thing is, you can notice the teaser of a new faction. We are not showing the exact moment right now because we wonder if you can discover it yourself. You may actually recognize the exact location on the swamps. If you played Stalker Clear Sky, you may remember this place. The time did the job, but the tower is definitely still there. Also in this scene, you can see a brand new detector Skiff is using for the artifact hunt. Because of its form, it's called Gilka, which actually means a branch in the Ukrainian.
I never played the original Stalker because it was kind of scary.
The artifact Skiff is going to collect is called Jelly. In-game, it recovers your stamina. Moving to the Dancing Man scene. Before you ask it, yes, there will be a lot of characters with an interesting fate in the zone. His hideout is located in Chernobyl too. That's a town not so far from Pripyat you have seen in the gameplay teaser.
This motherfucker's just is a sleeper agent right here, chat. He's just DMCAing all of Russia. Putin putting up to it, also known as Putin.
культура. А ты одно и то же по кругу лобаешь.
Putin is his brother.
Сам же просто.
The campfires. A small isle of safety in the unwelcoming zone. A place where you can finally have a little rest before another foray.
I don't think
you have
there's
seen
subtitles.
the campfire during the first trailer in the Rookie village.
Oh, look at that!
Of course, it wasn't the only one.
Thank you for asking about that.
The zone is
Aviv?
full of dangers and mutants. The monsters are the result of the numerous experiments. We're not ready to show you all of them, so let's stick to the old good bloodsucker for now.
So how much did you pay Man vs. Game?
Она не могла быть свободна, пока он жил. Зато теперь посмотри на нее. Нет, Скиф, я не отдам ее никому. Зона дала мне жизнь, новую жизнь. Жизнь, которую я готов вернуть.
By the way, guys, he's speaking Russian, in case you didn't know.
Защищать ее. Всегда.
In this rooftop scene,
It's him,
we are
it's Man
truly
vs.
proud
Game.
with the quality of the animations. We made a small behind-the-scenes video from our motion capture studio. The face photogrammetry process makes the final result as close to the reality as possible.
Она не могла быть свободна,
That looks
пока
so
он жил.
creepy.
Я буду защищать ее. Всегда.
The Gauss gun you're seeing in this section is one of the
This is
most
the-
powerful weapons from the arsenal.
This is the best, maybe the best like 5 seconds from a trailer at E3.
Охренеть.
Похоже, пора.
И куда ты теперь?
В Припять.
Moving to the final thing for today, the man at the end of the trailer is Sergei Grigorovich, the creator of the Stalker series.
Удачной охоты, Сталкер.
Thanks for joining us today. We can't wait for the moment when the time comes to enter the zone on April 28, 2022.
Right.
As you just saw, Stalker 2 is shaping up to be something special.
what I was gonna
and
say
I can't
is-
wait to play it next year when it comes to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass.
Twitch just launched their animated emotes. We currently have 5 available on the channel right now. The only issue is that it looks like there's a conflict. If you have FFZ installed, you cannot see them at the moment. They're not animated. So, yeah.
I want to see mommy.
Where is he?
No one can escape their
They work with better Twitch TV? Gotcha.
Odorous.
Where is your son?
You have come to challenge me?
Yeah, you can also disable the animations in your settings if you're not into it.
If history was in your hands, what would you build?
Oh, that's all we get on that? On the rats?
The king is back. And here to tell us more about Age of Empires 4 are Adam Ice Cream and Emma Bridle from World's Edge. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us on, Paris.
Oh, absolutely. my legacy Age player. I'm excited for this. Now, you had some news at the briefing. Can you kind of talk about that a little more?
Well, I mean,
Wait, his
fans
last
got
name
to
was
have
Ice
their
Cream?
first looks at 2 more of our launch civilizations, the Abbasid
Oh my
Dynasty
God.
and the French.
Yes.
And they bring a lot to the table.
I wonder
totally
how-
different ways to
okay.
play.
That guy probably got
but
made fun of
I'm really
a lot.
excited to show them those. And then also, people got to see their first
That was an
taste
announcement of
naval
an updated
gameplay,
version for the first
which we
game.
haven't shown off
Oh.
at all, except for a little teaser at the end of fan preview.
Paying off that tease. And we also
Exactly.
revealed one more of our campaigns, the 100 Years' War, and Joan of Arc made an appearance. We also announced that the game is coming October 28th, and it's coming to Windows Store, Steam, and of course, Game Pass for PC.
Now, earlier you mentioned the 2 civilizations, the Abbasid Dynasty and the French. Can you kind of go into detail about that?
Sure. Yeah, I guess I'll start. The Abbasid. So the Abbasid Dynasty is this amazing technological powerhouse of a civilization that has a really unique mechanic that we're bringing to them in Age of Empires 4. It's actually unique across all the civs that are in the game, in that they construct this bastion of knowledge called the House of Wisdom, and they can keep upgrading it with different wings, and that gives them a host of incredible technologies that leverage their army, their economy, their resources. But beyond even that, they have an incredible amount of fun units, especially camels. Unique to the civs again, the launch civs for Age of Empires 4 is camel units. And these camels have amazing abilities to buff the other units in their armies. And so you have these wonderful diverse mixes where you always want to be throwing different units together, but always including camels for the different kinds of buffs and advantages you can give.
Yeah, but what about the
civilization.
whoa?
It's great.
And the French are really,
How's
really
the
strong with
low?
trade. They've got some great options that are going to make your late game really, really interesting. They have a landmark called the House of Commerce. And for your units, you're going to really want to focus on knights and lancers. Those are your powerhouses. But the French actually made an appearance in the trailer as part of the 100 Years' War campaign. And
If you
as
know,
you see
you know.
Joan there, I'm actually wearing her around my neck. She's a feminist icon from history. This young woman who led with her convictions and led a battle, and she was a teenager. And so she's beloved. She's in Age 2 in a campaign, and so we know Age fans are going to love seeing her again. And the 100 Years' War, with the multiple missions, like the Battle of the 30, are really going to bring that period of history to life. And all the live action footage that you saw in the trailer on Sunday, that's all from within the game. Wow. We have these multiple documentaries that will play between the missions to storytell and really bring it to life as you journey through the 100 Years' War.
Yeah, taking a completely different approach to how we're telling a story in... Matter of fact, I don't think I've seen any game that does what we're doing in terms of how we're showing the story and how we're getting people involved with history. So
it
super
really,
exciting.
really brings it to life. And,
That's cool.
And I've learned things about English history from these documentaries I didn't learn in school. So they're educating as well as moving the game forward.
So are you saying the
community
game's
feedback
political?
is always important in any game, but especially in something like Age. Now, how have you taken some of that feedback into development for Age 4?
So we formed a community council back in 2017. We wanted our community and our players to have a seat at the table for development. We're making the game for them. So they've been hands-on with the game for a really long time and giving us their honest feedback. And we then take that to the game team and they look at making changes based on what they've told us. So they've influenced things from the look of the UI icons, the influence system that's built into Age 4. They've really, really helped us with their viewpoints make the game better. And one thing they really pushed for actually was naval.
Yeah, it's amazing. We actually, if you look at a lot of the data, we see data on all of the Age of Empires games that people play. And naval is one of those things that in Age 2, a lot of people don't use it, which is crazy, right? But if it wasn't there, people would miss it so much. And sometimes we have to ask those hard questions when we're making games, right? We say like,
that's
do
how
we need
ship
to do
combat
this?
was back
and it
in
was
the
something
day.
that we felt
everyone on
weird
the boat
about, and
would
we
just
went
go,
to the council with it, and we're like, hey, you know,
and they would it would
even
make
you guys
them
don't play
be able to
naval all the
reload
time.
faster
like,
when they would.
do we need it? And they're like, yeah, no, we see your point, but you know, you
and they
have
could
to
put the
have
cannons
this.
in the
And
cannon.
It was great. It was a great
faster.
reaffirmation.
The cannonballs in the cannon
and we
faster.
throw a lot of things like that
It's
at
weird.
our council to make sure that we're making the game that's
Everyone
great
knows
for
that.
all the
Go
different kinds
watch
of players that
Master and
love Age of
Commander
Empires
with
all
Russell
over the
Crowe.
world.
He does it
And
in
now
the,
we're
in the
heading
movie.
towards launch.
Yeah.
We're branching out beyond our council. People are going to get hands-on for the first time. So we had a fan preview event back in April, and we looked at the feedback from that and have made changes since then. So, you know, you let us know that you didn't feel like the weapon scaling was quite right. So we've gone ahead and we've improved that.
That is fantastic. Now, you actually hit on something that I wanted to jump into because Age has been around for a while. There's been previous games, but you continue to make content for those. So what's some of the news you can share as far as development with some of the legacy Age games?
Well, we have a new
Well,
expansion
we're
coming in
going
August
to act
for
like
H2
AoE
Definitive
3
Edition called Dawn of the Dukes.
doesn't exist.
And in that expansion, we're going to be adding 2 more civilizations,
Oh, wow.
the Bohemians and the Poles, and 3 new campaigns for the Lithuanians, the Bohemians, and the Poles. And those are great stories about really cool, like, brother and sister teams that work together to kind of rise up these empires, and I can't wait for people to get their hands on it. And the great thing is that if you pre-order Age of Empires 4, you get that for free. That's part of the deal for pre-ordering Age 4 on
that's
the
awesome.
different platforms. And for H3, of course, because we don't want to leave them out either.
That
H3
game doesn't
Definitive
exist.
Edition,
Let's
we're
not talk
hard
about this
work
game.
on
Please
an
cut the
African
footage.
PDLC with new civilizations and campaigns,
Yeah.
and I can't wait to show more. But we're not ready to talk about that one just yet.
But if you don't want to miss out, go to ageofempires.com, become an insider. You get little sneak peeks at things we've got
I don't wanna
coming
become
and
an
chance to get
insider.
hands-on with content early.
Yeah.
Now, shifting us back to the present in Age 4, what's some of the things people can expect as we lead up to launch?
Well, we've got a bit of an exclusive for you today. So
Whoa!
we're going to name our remaining launch civs and our remaining launch campaigns. We're not going to show them just yet. That'll come closer to launch. But our 2 remaining civilizations are the Holy Roman Empire and the Rus. And the names of our 2 remaining campaigns are the Rise of Moscow and the Mongol Empire.
All that sounds
Whoa.
fantastic. Please.
No, I was just going to say I'm so excited. I get all gushing about things like this. You're going to have to wait a little more to get information and see more detail on those civilizations and campaigns.
Genghis
but,
Khan is gonna
we've
fuck
also got
again.
a ton of stuff
Whoa.
planned. We have a beta that's going to be coming up. So you can go to ageofempires.com to sign up for be an insider to get in our beta and get a chance to actually get hands-on with the game. And then, of course, again, we're launching October 28th.
Isn't there like
How
some
long to wait?
on Steam?
Isn't there a
on
stat where
Windows
it's like
10 and
Genghis
on Game
Khan
Pass for
had
PC.
so many
it
children
should be
that,
great
like,
any way you want to play.
a large
We're
portion
really
of
excited.
somewhere is,
that is great.
can like
and
track
I'm sure
their
Age fans
genealogy
all
back
around
to
the
them or
world
something
are
like
really
that.
looking forward to that. So, again, Adam, Emma, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here.
for
Thanks for having
Appreciate
us
it. No, thank
Was
you.
that Kublai Khan or was that
Massive
Genghis Khan?
battles across land, air, and sea.
1/3
have been
of
a
all
hallmark
humans.
of the Battlefield series
God
from the beginning.
damn, he
In this
fucks.
next video, design director Daniel Berlin will tell us more about what DICE can do when it brings all-out warfare to the world's most
God
powerful console.
damn. That guy was just slinging dick every day. Crazy.
The thing that would really excite players is the introduction of all this
Oh, hey, it's
cutting-edge
Battlefield.
technology that we're just infusing into the sandbox. I think just having the comeback of the helicopter on the
Genghis
battlefield,
Khan loves a good
it just
comeback, you know what I'm saying?
introduces a whole new layer.
Shout out to
the sandbox.
Community
It
for
just
that. Or wait,
gives
Parks and Rec
players
for that one.
so much more tools that makes it more Battlefield than it's been in a very long time. We really enable our players to be really, really creative with the tools we give them. And that's what Battlefield is kind of all about. Being in a massive, open war setting and being able to say like, hey, there's a problem over there, go solve it. And the players actually choose how they want to solve that problem. And through that process, create their own Battlefield moments. So in 2042, you will experience 3 really distinct
Aren't they supposed to talk about hazards today,
experiences.
Chet?
The one we're talking about right now, we're talking about today, is the experience that we call the all-out warfare
Oh,
experience.
never mind.
Now, this is the place you go in 2042 when you want to have those classic Battlefield
Is that
experiences.
an EA
This
Play?
Massive
Oh,
war
okay.
where it's,
That's on,
air,
like, July
land, and sea,
22nd or
just
whatever.
coming together in these massive battles. But we've actually made a distinction between two separate experiences within the all-out warfare experience, and that's Conquest, which is very much a staple for our franchise. It's something that our fans know and love, and we're just taking the Conquest experience to the max this time around. Conquest is all about the freedom, the access to the sandbox, being able to choose where you fight, how you fight, where you want to go. But it's also experience that will allow players to kind of choose their own pacing. And there's moments in Conquest where it's complete chaos. When a lot of players they just converge on a single point and the chaos goes up to the maximum. But there's also moments within Conquest where, you've just had that big battle. And now you've won that battle, and you go like, okay, you bring up your map and you have a conversation with
we're
your
gonna be
friends,
well
and you say like,
practiced
okay, where do we
against
want to go
chaos by
next?
then.
Oh, we need to go over there to that state. Okay, how do we get there? Oh, let's
Square
call it a
Enix
vehicle.
has
And a
prepared
vehicle,
us.
you can call it in wherever you want, and then your friends, you hop into the transport vehicle and you go across the map and you go to a new location where there's a new fight. So Conquest is just that full freedom to the sandbox. And right next to that lives the other experience within All Out Warfare, which is Breakthrough. And this is a significantly more guided experience. It takes you
Hey, thanks to whoever
on
just
a
bought that
journey
shirt.
throughout the entire map. And in Breakthrough, there's an attacker and there's a defender team. And we kind of compress them into fighting head-on in a specific space. So the time to action is short, and the level of chaos is really, really high.
A lot of
There's
chaos.
helicopters,
It's
and
big.
there's tanks, and there's infantry. There's just everything happening, and it's just complete chaos in Breakthrough. So All Out
Huge.
Warfare kind of takes these two fan-favorite staple modes.
Everyone's
and
battling
we
for the
make
chaos
them
control.
distinctly lean into their specific strength. And that's on the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S, you will actually be able to play All Out Warfare experiences up to 128 players, which is a double to what we've done in the past in the franchise. And this is really, you can have those moments when you're playing
that could be really
2042, when you're
insane.
sitting in the helicopter and you look down and you just see this, sea of tanks, soldiers, infantry, helicopters, fighter jets just moving in unison, and you kind of get this
I
feeling
really
that
want
you're part of
to-
something bigger, like a really, really massive army. And that's
Like, I
the
really wanna just
strength
get into
of
a
the
server
massive play spaces that we're building. And
with
we're able to
128
really make this
people and just have
play
them
really
all go
well.
in one
We've
area
altered
and no one
our
shoot.
way of handling level
Just to
design.
see what happens.
Because it wasn't just as simple as, just making it bigger and then
Just to see if
portion
the game
locations out. It doesn't really work that way. So we've leaned into a new type of design mentality that we're calling clustering. Now, what clustering means that you will have a massive battlefield in front of you. But within this massive battlefield, you will have particular clusters of
Yeah, then have
objectives.
them all summon
so
a
the
tank.
map Hourglass is set in Doha, Qatar. And it is, I'm not going to go into any specifics about exactly how large it is, but it is definitely one of the larger maps that we will have in 2042. It's one of my favorite maps personally because it has some really, really cool, distinct locations within it. Down to the south of the map, you'll have a fully destructible village. And this is a great space for infantry and vehicles alike, because as a battlefield player that infantry is skulking around inside the buildings, but when you're in your tank or your attack helicopter, you can just can destroy those buildings and get access to the infantry. And you can go further east and you'll find a bunch of high rises, skyscrapers. And so there's a whole section there where you can enter the skyscrapers, you can go up to the top of them, you can zip line between the roofs, have fights in between the rooftops. But if you want to change it up even more, you can basically skydive off of the skyscrapers. And if you're playing a particular specialist that has access to a wingsuit, you can actually glide across the entire map space and get yourself all the way over to the stadium, which is on the east side of the map. And the
This map
stadium
seems
itself,
very large.
It's a place you go when you really want to just take out your shotgun and have some close quarters combat. So the mentality here of building larger maps, but creating locations within that map where there's a particular type of gameplay. And with the Conquest game mode, for example, you will also see the fact that if you want to capture the entirety of the stadium, it's not just to go there and capture one location. You actually have to capture multiple locations within the stadium in order for you to kind of to consider it yours, that your team can actually get benefits from it. So lots of dynamic moments on Hourglass. And if you saw in the gameplay trailer as well, there's a massive wall of sand moving across the entire gameplay space. So what happens when this massive wall comes, of course, it engulfs you in the storm itself. But as it passes by, it leaves the entirety of the map in a different mood, in a different light, and it changes the visibility for the player. And this is a really good time for you to lean into our Plus system, where you have the capability to actually alter the customization on your weapon. But I'd also like to mention, though, that the wall of sand is one thing, right? But there's also the possibility of the tornado.
The tornado.
And the tornado is this massive disruptor that just comes into the play space, and wherever it goes, destruction follows. It's a massive, moving physical entity that will pick you up, throw you across the map, pull helicopters into it. It's just a crazy, fun physics experience that happens as you play.
Chat, you know what
So
also is a
everything
crazy,
is in the
fun
hands of
physics
the player.
experience?
This really is a sandbox.
Watching
And
ads
these
on
moments are in the hands
twitch.tv.
of the player.
They're about to
While
run here in
other
45
games, the
seconds.
battlefield moments are
If you don't want to
pre-scripted,
see them, drop a
in
sub
our game,
or
they
watch
just
them.
happen, and they happen differently every single time because it's
Prime
players
Gaming
controlling what's
gifted
happening around you. That's something that you only
always
get in
to
Battlefield.
get past
That's why I love Battlefield so much.
I have to contractually run them. Okay.
Epic action at an epic scale is what we all want from Battlefield 2042, and DICE looks poised to deliver. During the showcase on Sunday, we announced an exciting collaboration
Here, I'll gift some
between
subs so
Rare,
people don't have to see 'em.
Xbox, and Disney. With Sea of Thieves, A Pirate's Life, a free update which brings Captain Jack Sparrow and his crew sailing into the Sea of Thieves. Today, we're premiering a brand new trailer showing some of the gameplay you'll experience when you team up with Jack Sparrow for this all-new adventure. I can't wait to be a part of this crew. Let's take a look.
You will always remember
Everyone get down.
Day your crew was joined by Captain Jack Sparrow. To the Sea of Thieves. Quick as you like. Chop, chop.
It's time to bridge the worlds and take our rightful places as lords of the sea.
Now we have awoken, and we are hungry.
Zillane, thanks for that Prime
Perhaps
Gaming.
I'll take ye on the grand tour of me fallen kingdom.
I was starting to think you'd taken a tumble. Not everyone's as steady on their feet as I am. This is the first place I've found where everyone appreciates my uniqueness.
Wait.
Coming aboard! Keep your
Is this the first time they're going to have AI combat in the game besides the
Davy
Skellies?
Jones wishes you destroyed, and I shall oblige him.
What is that infernal noise?
Ekthroy, what's going on, man? 69 months.
To you, mate.
Sparrow! Destroy that
Crixus,
statue,
thanks for that Prime.
and there'll be the double to pay.
Enough of this. Hear me, my daughter. Come more than me.
Whatever they've told you is not true.
Okay, dude.
Unless it's flattering, in which case it's all true, but they left out the best bits. Savvy?
You son of a bitch, Ekthroy.
Hey everyone, Joni, executive producer on Sea of Thieves here. So we've shown you the cinematic trailer, we've shown the gameplay trailer, but there's still more to come. So on Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UK, and 8 p.m.
Well, how about
Europe,
I just
we have the
match
Sea
that
of
right
Thieves
away,
A Pirate's
Ekthroy?
Life showcase. So this is a real deep dive
Huh?
just into all of the details behind
What if I
this
just do it
collaboration
again?
with Disney. How did we bring Jack Sparrow into our world? How do we capture his humor and his charm and all of the kind of characters that are coming in as a part of this? You're going to get a first look at a couple of tales and actual gameplay of those. We're going to get some behind-the-scenes interviews with our development team and also just to chat with us, with Disney, just about how this collaboration came to be. So it's going to be amazing. I hope everybody tunes in. So we'll see you on Sunday.
All right, let's stop giving Twitch money now, okay? All right, no more, no need. Gotcha, Ekthroy. I told Rami that we need to go flying soon. He agreed. It's gonna happen. I kind of want to wait till I can fly that, what is it, F-16, though, from Top Gun. I got to think that's going to be crazy to go that fast. Especially if I can get my VR set up. Oh, my God. No, we didn't talk about it, Edon. I will be getting a controller from the old Xbox Design Lab. They reached out a couple weeks back. I don't know when it's going to be here, though. There's something crazy beautiful about Flight Sim. You know? Gets me a little sad. Makes me a little sad here. Membuck. We'll see you soon. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Membuck just redeemed 1 million points. Godspeed, Membuck. We'll see you in a week. What a legend. What if he never comes back? What if we never see him again? What if he's gone forever?
I'm ready for the danger zone.
I'm done.
But we'll get to that in just a second.
I'm fucking done. I'm out of here.
When Microsoft Flight Simulator
Jesus
launched last
Christ.
year on PC, reviewers and gamers alike were blown away by the stunning
Jesus
visuals
Christ.
and the depth of simulation. Joining us is Jorg Newman, the head of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Jorg, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Good to meet you. Those are cool glasses. You get your jacket.
Yeah, I got my jacket as well. So you had some announcements this
Oh my
Sunday
God,
about
he's
Microsoft
got like a
Flight Simulator.
sick-ass
Can you go
Flight
into that a
Sim
little
jacket.
bit?
What
Yeah,
the
it was
fuck?
super cool. We announced
I
that
want that
Microsoft Flight
shit.
Simulator is coming to Xbox Series X and S. And the franchise has an awesome history on the PC. It's going back all the way to 1982. You know, it predates Office and Windows. And when we launched last year, it was on the PC only. And it was a really warm welcome.
I had
from
a chance to
simmers and
interview
from
this
press
guy
and from
on
people who have
stream,
never
but I
flown
turned
Flight
it
Sim
down.
before. So we're super excited.
So I
that it
didn't know
comes
what
to
the fuck I
console
would
now.
ask him.
And so for the first time in the history of the franchise.
So I've been playing Flight Simulator since last year on PC. I have a 3080, but it is now coming to the Xbox Series X and S.
Nice
what
brag,
sorcery
dude.
are you doing to get this
Tell us
running
more about
on
your
both of those
3080,
consoles?
bro.
I have to know.
I think it's a
Look,
combination
I've
of two
got
things,
30.
really. First off, it's a super powerful console.
Yes.
And then we are really using the Microsoft
I've
tech
got a
stack in an interesting
3090
way.
right here,
So as
dude.
you know,
How about
Series
that?
X and S is
I
like
don't
a
even
beast.
need to unbox it, bro.
The GPU is awesome, super powerful CPU with multiple cores, RAM, fast RAM. We can run in 4K. That's super important for planes because you sit there in the cockpit, you need to be able to read all the text. SSD, fast
upstage
internet.
me.
So it's basically the equivalent of a really powerful high-end PC. And on top of that, on Flight Sim, we're using the Microsoft stack a lot. Like we have
That's a
2.5
knockoff.
petabyte of data. It's 1.6 million CDs sitting on Azure. And we're basically streaming that down as you go. And we also do machine learning algorithms up there, and that is how we build procedurally in runtime 1.5 billion houses and 2 trillion trees. So it's a combination of those two things. Super
God,
powerful
that's
console,
insane.
super good use of the Microsoft tech stack. You get it to work on console.
That is fantastic. Now, with Xbox Game Pass and with it coming to console, you're going to expose Flight Simulator
James
to
is out
a
for a
lot
week,
of new games,
a day.
right? So,
thank you.
What are some of the things that you're going to do to make it more accessible to a wider audience?
So we had, you're exactly right. We had a little bit of that last year when we launched because we knew the flight simmers, that's their hobby. They came in, they know everything about aviation, they know exactly what to do. But we had a lot of people come in through Xbox Game Pass on PC and basically tried for the first time. So even on the PC launch, we did a bunch of work on onboarding with tutorials. We gave some assistances, but now for this Xbox version, we're actually doing a ton more. And I actually brought you a little video. And so there's 5 things we did. The first thing, if you're
banned,
becoming a pilot, the first thing you do is you do a discovery flight. It's basically, you know, you have a flight instructor next to you. He does most of the work, he or she. And you get to steer the plane and feel really good about yourself, right? And so we said, we need to recreate that. So we picked 10 places on Earth, like some of the most compelling places, like Mount Everest, or Rio de Janeiro, or New York, or the pyramids. And we basically put you on a plane, it's ready to go, it's beautiful weather, and all you need to do is fly and have fun. And it really is an onboarding experience, is super good. And then we noticed on the PC side that people really love to explore the world in Flight Sim. I did that. I've spent like a month in South America, and I've never been to South America, and it was super cool. But it was only visuals,
and remarkable
you know, so we didn't quite understand how everything fits together. So now we added labels, and Bing has all these labels basically for every POI, like famous place or river or mountain. So we have all those now, and we put that into the world map. And even if you go down and you try to plan out your flight, you can now see all the cities around you, and it's totally transforms the experience.
What, you guys don't Bing?
Same
I Bing all the
game.
time.
So we now have labels in game where you see.
I love Binging.
You know, here's
It's
Everett.
great.
Over there's
Bing that,
whatever,
Bing this.
and you learn about the planet more, and it's a much more enriching experience. Just
Bing is
experiencing the planet.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. The next
Barry's
thing we
out
did,
for 24 hours.
We revamped the tutorials. We wanted to
Doesn't work that way.
smoothen out the onboarding experience. We wanted
Doesn't
to
work
retain
that way,
knowledge
Barry.
more. So we had 8 tutorials on the PC.
Way to
now
waste
we
your
have
channel
22.
points, idiot.
And they're shorter, they're much more focused, and we have a performance indicator system. So basically it rates you and how you did, and you get a score. And honestly, I can speak for myself. Like, I'm totally motivated to get better and better and better. And with that, you learn more and more how you really fly. So it's been super successful, and I think it's going to help newcomers a lot. The next feature that we have it's called Flight Assistant, which I use a lot. It's basically, so just imagine you fly over New York and you see, you want to actually just look at the landscape and look at the city, but you know eventually you want to go to Brooklyn Bridge.
Why is
so
everyone
on the
fucking
flight
banning
instructor, you can now,
themselves?
flight
What
assistants, you can
happened?
now click on, go to Brooklyn Bridge, and the AI, almost like a co-pilot
thank you,
next
Joe,
to you,
for that
will
tip,
fly
by
you
the way. Thanks
to
for
the
the $10
Brooklyn Bridge,
tip.
and you can just look around and have an interesting time. Same with airports, which are sometimes challenging for people. Like, you can click on the airport and say, please land me at, say, Newark Airport. And then the last thing is, if you really get yourself in
Does
trouble,
anyone play
like,
this in
stall
VR
the
with like
plane
a
or something like that,
3090?
you can
Does
actually
it
now
run
click
well?
you can now go and basically say recover, and it's almost like the pilot is sitting next to you. Super helpful. I think that people will love it. And the last thing was, you know, we learned that everybody's good taking off, but some people are hesitant to land, specifically when you look at like big international airports and they seem scary, and you need to talk to the air traffic controller and all that, super technical. So we added a new feature called Land Anywhere.
Nobody has a 3090?
Just let them land anywhere. And
I
then
know, this was
when
just
you
a
do
flex.
that, the first thing you see is 71% of the planet is water.
Yes.
So we added basically floats to a bunch of our planes, and you can land everywhere now on the ocean or in rivers or wherever. Same with snow. So we have skis on our planes now, and so you can go to the polar regions, mountaintops, or when it's winter, because we have winter, when it's snowing, you can now land anywhere. So I think those 5 things in combination will really make it easier for people who have never been in a flight sim, because it's, you know, we made a decision not to dumb down the flight sim. It's not easier. It's not gamified.
Right.
Like we gave assistances to help you learn how to actually fly a plane. I think we're going to achieve that.
So, one thing on PC is there's a ton of flight accessories that you can use as far as various peripherals
FFZ has
and
just
controls.
tweeted out that they are
What are you going to be able to bring
fix
to the console that can
Twitch
somewhat
emote
replicate
stuff.
that experience?
Totally, yeah. So a good news story. So there's 2 really good flight sticks already on the console. It's the Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS 1.
I love the Thrustmaster.
Which we have
I
that,
use
and
that
then there's
thing
also
every
the
night,
HOTI
if you know what I'm
HOTAS flight
saying.
stick. And so we fully support those 2. And then we worked with all the main top-notch peripheral makers, both on PC and Xbox. And all I can say is there are going to be some really good announcements coming up. Yeah. And for Core Simmer, I can say you can now play. We have the software to have a full Core Sim experience, and we'll have the hardware on Xbox. All for the first time on a console. It's going to be great.
Oh, that's going to be great. Now, we obviously had the funny start with the Top Gun Maverick expansion pack. You announced that, but can you go into a little more detail about that?
Yeah, I mean,
you can expect.
We couldn't be more excited, right?
Cruise
and
actually?
it's really like a dream come true. If you think about entertainment and the franchises that celebrate aviation, you will actually come to Microsoft Flight Simulator and Top Gun, and it's a perfect marriage. So I can't say that much about it because the movie obviously is, keeps everything under wraps. But if you watch the trailer carefully, you saw there's some F/A-18s, and there's an aircraft carrier. There might be another plane. And then I can say is we're going to go fast, like really fast.
That's what I want, dude.
We're going to be in the danger zone.
That is actually so exciting
Really
to me.
looking forward to that. Now,
Because
I
would never.
There's not much else you can say about the
I
Maverick
would never
expansion
get
pack,
foot
but
or
what
step
else
foot in
can
one of
people
those in
expect
real
from Flight
life.
Simulator in
But
the
I'll
near
put on a
future?
fucking headset
So
and go
ever since
flying
launch, we
through them
said
in space.
We're going to launch
right?
and have a new update, like a big, meaningful update every single month. And we launched 9 months ago, and we had 9 updates. So
I'd
we
buzz
have
all the
something
towers.
that's called World Updates, where we just pick a zone on Earth, like the United States or Japan or like England and Ireland, and we make that really better. Like we get the the best possible satellite imagery.
You wear glasses,
we
you
create
can't
an
fly them?
elevation map that basically makes the mountains look
Warhammer,
better.
you want to
We create
Mr.
3D
Debbie
cities.
Downer
Like,
over here.
After launch, we launched London and
Jesus
Paris.
Christ.
And we also make missions, so we celebrate the planet, like with these updates. And we're just going to go around the planet. We're shipping 2 more this year and 6 more next year. And then we also have something called sim updates, simulation updates, where we work with the manufacturers of planes, with the flight sim community out there that knows tons about everything. And also with real-world pilots. And we're basically making the sim better and better. The goal is to make the ultimate sim. Yeah. It's the perfect thing, totally authentic. And then on top of that, you should expect the unexpected. Just like with Maverick, which I don't think people really saw coming, there will be more of that. And I think all I can say is it'll get the gamers and the simmers both their hearts pounding. So
Capital G gamers.
That is awesome.
Getting
Now,
hype.
again, I'm so excited that more people are going to get to play Flight Simulator. I've been playing it on PC. I love it. I highly recommend everyone do the flight from LA to Paris.
How long is
It's
this
really
thing going to
good,
be?
Very cathartic.
I've got a
But
sponsored stream
as
in
we get
50
out of here,
minutes.
I want to thank you so much for taking some time to talk about Flight Simulator. Can't wait for that expansion pack.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Thank you. Still to come, we have Grounded, Shredders, and of course, Halo Infinite. But first, one of the best PC games of 2020 was Hades, and it's got a ton of awards to prove it.
True.
Here's a closer look at what we can expect from Supergiant Games later this year
How many
on
people are
Xbox
watching?
Series X and S.
16,000, not that many, not that many.
We just announced that Hades, our Game of the Year winning roguelike dungeon crawler, is coming
Hades,
soon to
these
Xbox.
nuts.
And I
Wait,
want to
you
introduce
just
you
say
to some
nuts.
of the gods,
You don't
ghosts,
say
and
Hades,
monsters you'll
these
meet
nuts.
in
You
our
just-
rendition of
Hades,
the ancient Greek
nuts.
underworld. You don't need any prior interest in Greek myth to get into Hades, but as you play, maybe you'll get to wondering how much of this stuff comes from mythology. The answer is a whole lot. Greek myth is filled with wild, fascinating, often
Zoomers love me,
contradictory
chat.
stories of these larger-than-life characters. The Olympians are a big, complicated family, always bickering and always pushing each other, and their portrayals in classical mythology inspired our portrayals in Hades. Let's start with Hades himself.
What is it now? Of a mountain of unfurled
All right, I guess I'm just going to have to play
He's
this
often
again.
relegated to the role of villain in many modern adaptations of Greek myth, but in classical mythology, he's a complicated guy, and much more principled than some of his brothers or sisters. He's so fascinating, we made a whole game about him. As the god of the dead, Hades has an imposing reputation to live up to, so he even has a monstrous pet in the 3-headed hound of hell, Cerberus. The idea that this savage beast was still somebody's
You
pet
never
dog
played this?
crystallized
Oh,
how we
man.
wanted to
You gotta
portray
play
the gods
this.
in Hades, that despite being immortal and all-powerful, they're not so different from the rest of us. Though, let's not forget Zagreus. We've heard from many players who figured
What heat
Zagreus
level
was
did
a
you
god
get?
of our own creation. After all, who's ever heard of Hades having any kids?
I don't
But
know.
according to some ancient sources, he did.
Greetings, Father.
This
My
game
ransack was a delight,
was
thank you
kind
for
of rough
asking.
to play because I
So
didn't
I'll
blink
just
when I
be on
played
my
it.
way again.
In classical mythology, Zagreus is a little-known chthonic god, meaning a god of the underworld, sometimes associated with Dionysus, the god of wine. But in other cases, he is associated with Hades. How could Hades have a son nobody knows about? How does he fit into the myths we do know of Hades? We were so drawn to answering these questions that they form the basis for the entire story of this game. If you're the prince of the underworld, who do you get as your personal trainer? That would be Achilles, a near-invincible warrior in his day, once called the greatest of the Greeks.
Good to see you, lad.
Except
Despite the
for his
circumstances.
heels.
Remember your training out there. The pain of death is but another obstacle.
Hades takes place after his untimely demise during the Trojan War, once he's had a lot of time to reflect on his life choices. Achilles lived in glory, so he's
Imagine
got an okay
having your
gig in the
heels
afterlife.
be the
but
weakest
some
part of your
wretched
body.
souls end up in a really bad spot in the underworld, and for better or
Just
worse,
wear shoes,
they get
forehead.
to meet Megara.
Ever stubborn, aren't you? Maybe my whip might make you reconsider whatever it is that you're attempting here.
She is one of the 3 Fury sisters tasked with torturing some of the absolute worst souls for all eternity. And in our game, she's also tasked with making sure Zagreus doesn't make it out of the underworld. These two have a lot of history, and since
believe
the
we're, like,
story of
getting a
Hades keeps moving
weird,
forward
like,
each time you play, the more you run
full
into
trailer
Megara,
for
the better you'll
Hades.
get to know her. There's also Thanatos.
Approaches.
He may decide to drop in on you when he isn't busy whisking the souls of the recently departed to the underworld.
Thought you could just get away from me, did you?
He is the personification of death, according to Greek myth, though represents more of a peaceful death than,
I'm not
say,
sure what that
the
is,
kind that
Sap.
happened
Let
a
me-
lot
let me Google.
during something like the Trojan War. So even though he can seem a little sinister at first, in the spirit of the mythology, we wanted our Thanatos to have a gentler side. Thanatos has a couple of brothers in Hades, such as Hypnos here, the personification of sleep.
Oh, crazy. I'd never heard of that.
Thoughts got you too bad.
When he's not dozing on the job, Hypnos can comment on every single possible way you can die in this game, of the dozens and dozens of different possibilities. Where did all these gods of the underworld come from anyway?
Haglin's
According
deformity.
to the Theogony, an ancient Greek creation myth by Hesiod that introduces all the gods and their ancestors, many of the chthonic gods came from Nyx, the personification of night.
Darkness guide you, child. You have outgrown this house. Of that I am now certain. Should you return again here, I shall keep you safe.
She is a primordial goddess, meaning she is much older even than Hades or the Olympians. And in our game, she has an important role in the underworld, not the least of which is helping you unlock some of your hidden power.
Who hasn't
There
heard
are
of this
30
game?
different characters to meet and grow closer to the more you play Hades, and we hope you enjoy getting to know them all. Some of them feel truly ancient and godlike. Some are funny, some are scary. We found them incredibly inspiring and hope you do too, once you get to meet everybody when Hades comes to Xbox One and Series X on August 13th.
Everyone dance. We gotta dance. We're dancing. Yeah, this is DMCA territory right here. Mods, do we have chants available on our channel? We don't? Fuck. I feel like every other channel does but us. God, we're just the worst channel on the Citadel.
Да пошел ты.
Yeah, they're mod-approved auto copy pastas, exactly. They're actually like kind of cool in a lot of ways,
Okay, this is good. This is good. This is really good. Holy.
but it does destroy
bloody
your
whip.
chat. I should probably eat before this sponsored stream. Let me order some food here, chat. What are we gonna eat? What are we gonna eat?
Go big.
I think We might do the Paneras again, maybe?
Or never go home.
Here to tell us more about the Grounded update are Adam and Eric from Obsidian Entertainment. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's a real honor.
Oh, these guys
absolutely.
fucking
Love
suck.
Grounded,
They
love
created those
everything that you guys
spiders.
have been doing with it. Now, my
What a
first
bunch of
question is
assholes.
this mushroom system. What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so that's one of the big things for the Shroom and Doom update is mushrooms. We're really changing how the yard is with mushrooms. Every mushroom that you see in the yard is now harvestable, which is really cool. So the small ones, the big toadstools, the ones that you find in caves, now those were present in the yard before, but now you can actually harvest them and get mushroom stuff out of them.
Dicks.
The next kind of part of that is that we're adding a couple base building elements like mushroom bricks.
Yeah.
So you have to take all those mushrooms that you find, and then you have to grind them up in a grinder, which is a new building, and then you have to take them to your oven, which is another new building that we're adding, and bake the mushroom stuff into bricks. And then with the mushroom
Looks
brick
fairly
buildings,
advanced.
there's a whole host of new options for base builders, and it's more fortified walls and a bunch of other options, so you can build a cool big castle.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, we saw the Broodmother, so you're bringing bosses into Grounded.
I gotta go to the
What can you
restroom.
tell me about that? What does that mean for
I'll be
the
right
direction
back
of the
real quick.
game as we move forward?
Yeah, so the Broodmother's our first boss. So we actually launched with the Broodmother, and we didn't really feel it hit the right mark. So we took the Broodmother out, and we wanted to spend a lot of time making it a really memorable boss fight. So we put a lot of development effort behind the Broodmother, and it's going to really feel like a big, huge fight and a memorable one. There's a lot of kind of cool things with it. I don't want to spoil everything. I want players to kind of experience it for themselves. But it definitely is something that we want players' feedback to see, like, what do they like? What do they not like? How is the challenge? We want to make it really challenging and have a good reward for defeating the Broodmother. But is it too hard? We'd like to know that. So for future development on Grounded, like, we want to make more bosses. And so we want to get all that feedback to improve the system.
Now, you actually bring up a great point about community, but I'll put a pin in that and come back to it in a second. So I know you don't want to spoil anything about the Broodmother, but is there any tips you can kind of give people ahead of time on what they can do to survive that encounter?
I would definitely say that you would need to make sure you have the highest tier armor and gear up really well for this fight, because it is going to be difficult. And then you also want to have the right mutations equipped as well. And if you're playing with your friends, it might be good for one of your friends or yourself to use the brand new crossbow we're going to put into the game, so you can have some ranged DPS while someone else like face tanks the Broodmother.
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. So again, going back to community, I know you love getting feedback about Grounded, obviously starting as an early access game, but what are some of the things that you're looking for as far as in this update? What was something that you got feedback-wise from the community that you put in this update?
Yeah, so there's it's one thing that we love working with community. So that's something that we, as developers, we love just hearing what people have to say about the game, and we're continually developing it with the community. So there's a lot of new things in our new update. One of those things is flipping buildings, and that's one thing that we're really just adding like those little features. Another one is just sprinting up ladders, which is something that like.
How's it
You know,
going?
just
I went
hearing
to the
people how
restroom.
they interact with ladders and adding a sprint mode. The other one is one of our funnier features that we're adding is sitting in chairs.
Yeah.
So it's something that a lot of people really, really wanted.
We're also introducing like the first phase of pets in the game. So we're going to start with aphids. So you'll be able to tame an aphid, run around the yard with the aphid. But you also got to make sure you protect your aphid, because accidents can happen in the backyard.
There's one other thing too, achievements. So we're really excited to announce that we have
finally.
achievements in Grounded, and that's purely based on everyone's feedback. Everyone's been wanting achievements, and so we're finally adding them to the game.
That's really good. Now, again, sticking with this, the topic of community. So this was an early access game, and it sounds like pretty much the foundation of what Grounded was built off of community feedback. So how does that process work internally for you as far as people submitting, like, hey, I want to sit, I want achievements, pets. Like, how does that whole process work?
So we have a lot of like avenues where we gather feedback from the community. So we do weekly developer streams where chat can ask a bunch of questions when we have Adam on or other developers or myself.
and we'll gather feedback and sessions there. And then our main source of feedback is through our official Discord, Grounded the Game. And I use a series of bots to gather a bunch of feedbacks from the players, and then from there, me, Adam, a couple members of the team, and also from the community team get together, and we have a weekly meeting going over all the suggestions and kind of prioritizing what will work and what we can put later in the future for like other suggestions.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for taking some time to come talk to me about this new update for Grounded. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to get to sit, I guess, right? Yep. So that's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's almost time for a closer look at the multiplayer trailer for Halo Infinite. But first, it's time to see what the snow, the slopes, and the powder
play Forza Horizon 5?
like when powered by Xbox
The thing
Series
about
X
streaming
and
Forza
S.
Horizon 5
This is Shredders.
or any Forza game is
Hey
that
there, and welcome to the stream.
Forza
where you'll
is
get an
at
extra
its
glimpse
best
on
when
our
you have
snowboard
awesome
game.
music.
It's called Shredders.
And you can't
Dirk
stream
Van Welden,
awesome
project
music.
lead at Foam Punch.
Right?
Hello, this is Marcus Foshmo, tech lead on Shredders and Foam Punch.
Yeah, you've probably seen our trailer at the Xbox event. We've been tinkering on this game for a while now, and while it's still in development, we're happy to show you more of this game. So I'm switching to our developer drone cam. I can actually spawn wherever I want, like instantly. But I first want to show you some of the areas we've been working on. This mountain resort is called Frozen Wood. It's inspired by some of the resorts in the French Alps where I've been snowboarding a lot. It has these cozy
Alright,
parks,
dude, nice fucking brag.
side kickers,
I
half
go to the
pipes,
French
really
Alps
big
all the
rails,
time.
a lot of features in there, way more than you would expect in a normal mountain resort. But hey, this is a video game and we want as many features as possible. So yeah, like I said, this is completely open and you can go snowboarding
that is
anywhere
very
you'd
pretty.
like. You can do some missions. There's like a story evolving around the main character that wants to participate in a kick-ass invitational border cross event. But you can also just cruise around and find some nice lines with a good flow, like for example here in this pillow-like environment that was shown in the trailer. Or you can go up there, like take some huge kickers and big rails at the big park. And just
Now,
look how big this mountain range is.
what
Like
if
you've got space for industrial
there was
areas
someone
and street areas. There's
with a sniper
backcountry,
rifle
high mountain riding. There's
also
even an
trying
old
to shoot
Italian-looking
you
village you
at
can
the
shred.
same time?
A lot of these locations have been inspired by events happening all over the world and
Would it make
snowboarding
the
movies
game
that
better?
inspired us these past years. It's
Some
kind of
might
a
say
tribute
yes.
to, in fact. Also, anywhere you go, you can always ride during golden hour due to our real-time lighting engine. But hey, having a fun and realistic environment is nice, but it's not fun without nailing the riding itself, right?
Yeah, so for the actual snowboarding, a big inspiration for us all, I think, has been pro riders, snowboard movies, and all the crazy stuff that they do on a snowboard. And of course, ourselves riding.
I feel like this is too much simulation
having
for me.
fun and being creative on a snowboard.
I want to go down
That's
here
something that we want to bring
as a
into
fucking
the game.
alien and pull like
Conceptually,
a
we're trying to keep the convention of one stick for
like
the
a
board
3080
and one
or
stick for the body, and directly map that onto the snowboarder. So at any point you should get a physical or animation response as soon as you're touching those sticks. And it gives you a lot of freedom in your playstyle. So you can choose to be smooth and lazy, or if you are more
Why
like
not a
fast and
3090?
aggressive, or you can change up your style however you want. You want
No
the
one has- no
motions
one's ever
kept
done those
fluid
before.
and stylish while still being very reactive. So that's a big challenge, and we had to create a complete animation system dedicated just for this. And here you can see the board interacting with the snow. He puts some weight into his turn and he really digs in those edges into the snow for a clean carve. Or you can just use the,
What is
the
this
board
song?
stick here to speed check, to line up for a feature. But you can also use both of the sticks.
Hey, we're gonna have a
combined
bunch of
for
guys
even greater
talking.
control. Yeah, like
We
you
need
can
some
hear
background
the
music. Do you got
balancing of
anything?
the tail of the board.
Oh, I've got
This is
just
called
the
buffering.
thing.
And from this
Trust
stance,
me,
you can
fam.
also start tricking just as in normal riding.
Wow, wow.
So for the trickster
Wow, wow,
system,
wow,
we're trying
wow.
to give as much control
Wow,
as possible
wow.
to any trick
Wow,
you've seen in a
wow.
movie
Wow,
or any
wow.
crazy trick that you can imagine, while still making it look great. Every grab you can do, you can
literally
also
what it sounds like.
tweak it out with a board stick. So for a really big spin, you have to get the timing down in the takeoff. And while you're in there, you keep your body tight, so you keep spinning at that high rate. And then it's just a matter of putting down your feet when it's time to land.
Wow.
When we succeed, it looks very simple and natural. So that is what we're trying to achieve, a really fun snowboard game.
Sounded like the beginning of Bulls on Parade.
A new day
Wow,
is
wow,
upon us.
wow, wow,
A new generation
wow, wow,
built to
wow, wow.
fight.
Come with it now.
Together, we are unstoppable.
I'm just a big fan of Raids Against the Machine.
Are you ready?
Here's the hollow.
No scope.
What the fuck? This is different gameplay.
Big shot. Killing spree.
Is it? Okay, some of this is the same.
Double kill.
Hello. Let's do some damage.
The sniper thing was definitely different.
Skewer acquired.
I don't remember him grappling up there and hitting a headshot no scope.
Claim the enemy flag.
Chat, it's different. Just agree with me, okay? Jesus, come on now. Come on now.
Ordnance drop.
It's crazy. It's so different.
The flag is ours.
After playing Destiny to say,
At your earliest convenience.
after playing Halo yesterday, does this get you more excited? I didn't play Halo yesterday. I literally just bent over in a video game and absolutely got destroyed for 2 hours. I don't. That wasn't necessarily Halo. It's weird how they always do this epic campaign thing.
I am so excited to have Tom, Alex, and Quinn from 343 Industries. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
It's Tom French.
Thanks for having us. Now, I've watched this multiplayer trailer numerous times, and I want to see some specific moments from it so we can break it down. So can we roll the trailer to 15 seconds in, and let's talk about a new character.
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight. Together, we are unstoppable. Are you ready?
All right, now who is this character? She looks like she's in charge.
Your senses are right there. She's very much in charge. That's Commander Laurette. She's in charge of the Spartan Academy, which is the kind of contextual wrapper that the whole multiplayer universe
Animated
lives
emotes now work on
She is
FFZ.
basically training the new
Let me do an
generation
old
of Spartans
refresh.
to become better, and that's really where everything wraps around. I really love this character.
Oh my
And
God,
what's
they
cool
do
is
work.
Not only is it kind of the contextual wrapper for the game, but it's also we have a whole suite of academy features, we call them, where there's a tutorial that teaches the players the fundamental basics of the game. There's weapon drills that let you practice with every weapon that exists in the game and improve your skills with those. And then there's a whole thing we call training mode, which lets you play against bots on any map, basically, in the game, and lets you experiment with the toys and kind of learn the flows of everything. So we really want to bring players on board with the game, and again, under her orders and her charge.
Now, I want to go to 50
Tom
seconds
French
in the
definitely has a
trailer
look.
because there was a lot of action going on, and I want to check that out.
Oh my God, that's new, Chet. Have you guys seen that before? That's crazy. I've never seen that no scope. That's the first time I've seen that.
Killing spree.
Now, you may have noticed I sat up in my chair a little bit on that one because there was a lot going on there. So please, if you can break that down, let me know what we were seeing.
There's a lot to break down. I don't know if we got enough time to get all the way into it.
This guy,
some of the
way too
the
attractive.
things that I really love when I look at that
be a game
trailer is
developer.
that first sequence where the player, they have the bulldog shotgun, they're running through, shotgunning enemies. They grab the commando off the rack, put some shots in, low sensor.
It's the chin.
There's
It's
all
always
sorts
the
of
chin.
different things that the player is interacting with, and that's the sandbox. That's what we call the sandbox. The toys that is at the disposal for our players' hands, and we just really love that moment in the trailer where they have the grapple shot, they look up, grapple the ceiling, and then in midair, no scope snipe
First
an
time
enemy,
seeing that.
come all the way down, back whack a foe, and then the rest is history as you just see what happened in that
Back
trailer.
whack
But that's
a foe?
just some of the stuff that players can do, and that's actually the game. That's
Is that a
not
technical
just
term?
a movie for cinematic experience. Like that is the game that if players are good enough, put in time, they can actually do the things that you see in that trailer.
Yeah, and few things are
Do you
more
get
important
back
to
whacked a
Halo
lot there,
multiplayer
buddy?
than like interacting with the sandbox and combining it, picking it up off the map and combining it into awesome play styles. So what
probably
we
does,
did was
I'm jealous.
every sandbox item in the game, when it spawns, it's spawning on an object in the map, so you can see where those things can be found. And then it also tells you the respawn time of that item, when it's going to come back. And you always know, I can go grab that commando over at this spot like that guy did. So, and then when the players, accrue all those awesome items and do awesome things, you heard the return of Jeff Steitzer, the multiplayer announcer, shouting out medals. So we always want to give players medals when they do really cool things. So you heard some there, and you'll
Wait,
hear
I
some
thought
later on in the
animated
trailer.
emotes didn't work
That's awesome.
outside
See,
of your
when I
channel.
watch that, to me, that's Halo. That's Halo to me. I absolutely love that. Now, let's skip ahead a little bit more into the trailer to 57 seconds. I heard a voice, so I want to know what this voice is. Let's see it.
Oh, I didn't realize they were global.
Hello, let's do some damage.
Yeah, so that is the player's personal AI. So in Halo 5, there was a squad leader
follower
that
emotes or
announced
channel
when
only.
weapons are going to come up and other things going on in the match. And in Infinite, we have the
That's
player, like Chief has Cortana, they have a personal AI in their helmet that is kind of telling them these things. And it's also another way that players can show their personality in their characters. So there's multiple personalities and characters for the player to choose so that the right AI is in their helmet helping them out in combat.
I want to skip ahead a little further here because I think I might have saw a big team battle. So let's go to 1:40 and check that out.
Skewer acquired.
Was the skewer in Halo 5?
Grapple jet.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base.
Oh, it wasn't? Is it brand new then?
Ordnance drop inbound.
Oh.
The flag is ours. Please call at your earliest convenience.
Gonna get an AI that just insults you all day? Yeah, they're gonna have a Rick and Morty AI that they're gonna add to the
Big team
game.
battle to me. What's coming new? What are we going to do in Big Team Battle in Infinite?
I mean, it's not even just that. I mean, it actually opens with actually a 4v4 with a vehicles map called Behemoth at the beginning. So we actually are bringing vehicles back into the 4v4 arena. But then, yes, it definitely transitions into the 12v12 actually BTB part of the game, where we're actually making it a bigger team battle this time. Really wanting to index into the battle fantasy with the more players, where instead of like vehicles just spawning around the map, we have pelicans drop them off. We have ordnance pods that drop in new weapons. And inside of that whole time, you have the battle commander, Lorette, talking in your ear, giving you orders and trying to kind of encourage you to play around, but really just bringing the whole sandbox and the play style around this whole battle experience that we're building.
Yeah, Tom brings up some good points there of Commander Lorette, and you've got your commander on the comms, and then you've got the Pelicans dropping vehicles and items off. You got drop pods, everything. It just is like this theater of war that this time around it is this 12v12 bigger team battle, if you will. And just that ending segment, which is like a capture the flag match, is just so beautiful and awesome, where you've got the Pelican drop the Banshee off, teams fight over it. You and your teammate are just making a beeline for the Banshee. Your teammate gets picked off by the sniper, and you're like, oh no, and then you get the skewer, take that sniper out, jump into the Banshee, and you hit the jets and fly up into the sky and go for the enemy flag. That to us is what is so exciting about this version of Big Team Battle, with all of the toys, all the vehicles, the modes coming back, the maps, the brand new maps that you see there. I mean, it's going to be an amazing experience.
Yeah, trust me, I cannot wait to get my hands on it for myself. But let's move on. I want to go to 208 in the trailer because I think I saw a samurai. So let's check that out. Let's go to 208 in the trailer.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Now, show me what you can do.
Okay, so I guess next would be a ninja because that was definitely a samurai. So kind of talk about that. So we're going to start seeing some more customization with the armor coming in Infinite?
I mean, that is a samurai Spartan armor. Yeah. And so it'll be an armor you'll be able to unlock for free in the first season, which is super cool. Players will be able to equip it, you know, gain more armor pieces and customization options for it, et cetera, across the season. And then we actually have more of this stuff kind of coming down the line. There's actually some really cool ideas that we're seeing in that our team that's building that stuff. So there'll be a lot of other cool armors besides just the really core Halo Spartan armors. There'll be some other different kind of twists and things for players to play with.
Awesome. Look, now before we get out of here, first of all, I want to thank all of you for being here to talk about Halo Infinite. I'm excited.
You think
I can't
that's
wait
it?
to get my hands on it and play it. But before we do leave, is there anything else that you want to bring up and let fans out there know about?
Well, I'm excited for people to actually get their hands on it like yourself. So, I mean, if people sign up on our Halo's Insiders program, we have in the summer, we have a technical preview that we're going to be launching, and so people to finally put their hands on the sticks. And I'm just really excited for players to actually finally get to play the game we're working on.
That's
big and then news. On launch day, Halo Infinite multiplayer is free to play, which is new to the franchise. The team is super excited to hopefully bring in, you know, all sorts of fans that have potentially never experienced the franchise or haven't played it in a long time to just try it out. Come in and try it out with your friends.
Me, with my buddies, if I have some friends out there that haven't played Halo before, I'm like, well, it's free. Just come on. Let's jump in, download it. Let's check it out. And if it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, then hey, it's not. But kind of think it'll be for you. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's the other big key of that point is
it was
PC, right? Like this is a PC game as well. We've been putting a lot of effort into that. So not only is it going to be console,
that's actually
but
John
also
Spartan
PC,
right there.
Free to play. Like the barrier to entry is so low, and that has us excited. And I think as we really to really think about it, is we've been working on this game.
Cena's brother.
And as developers, when you work on a game, you want to get that game out there. And that almost seems like, for us, that's the finish line. But in reality, it's going to be the starting line for all of us, for us.
I bet you he
Halo
donates
fans.
tons to charity.
Day one, there's going to be a bunch of content there and things that are exciting and good. But then we're going to add more content. We're going to add more maps. We're going to add more modes and weapons and vehicles, equipment items. And it's just the beginning of this whole journey that we've been on for a while, and we're going to take everyone else with us as the game comes out.
I'm excited. Gentlemen, again, thank you so much. Now, for fans who want to learn even more about Halo Infinite multiplayer, check out the brand new deep dive video with the whole multiplayer team over on HaloWaypoint.com. And allow me to give a big thanks to everyone who's joined us today. Whether you play your favorite games on Xbox, PC, or Game Pass, the next 12 months will be nothing short of spectacular. It has been my absolute honor to be your host and share this experience with you.
He was a great host.
Before I go, here's a gameplay deep dive from the team behind the highly anticipated Scarlet Nexus.
Oh, here's some Scarlet Nexus stuff.
世界観を表現した世界観が収められたものになってます。で、見た目ビジュアルのこのスカーレットネクサスのビジュアルの特徴だとか、あとはキャラクターの見た目だとか、さまざまなルックスについてこのクリップでは紹介しようと思ってます。はい、この都市はこの世界の中では一番大きな都市というふうに紹介されています。ここはスオという都市で、このゲームの中心になる場所です。このスオの都市の見た目のインスピレーションは東京の景色と日本の90年代の景色をイメージしてます。ユニークなビジュアル部分っていうのはいくらかあると思うんですけれど、あと今回はセルシェーディングとリアリスティックな背景を合成するような見た目を選んでいるんですけれど、それはまず密度感を表現したいからというのが一つありました。 であともう一つはそのセルシェーディングのキャラクターとリアリスティックな映像が混ざることによってまたそこでも異質な見た目ちょっと面白い見た目にならないかなっていうのを模索しました。ただ単にセルシェーディングのキャラクターをリアリスティックな背景に置いてしまうとすごく浮いてしまって見た目が変になってしまうっていうのを懸念してたんですけれど、うまくそこを混ざるように工夫したというのが今回の苦労した点の一つではあります。で例えば今映像の中で東京タワーが映ってると思うんですけれど、これは日本では有名なランドマークで海外の人も見たことがあるかもしれないものと思うんですけど、その東京タワーがものすごく大きなサイズになっていて、でこれ3000m 富士山と同じぐらいサイズがあるんですけど、それだけ大きなもの本当はそんなサイズない33メートルの東京タワーをそれだけ大きくすることによってちょっとおかしい異質な景色みたいのを作りたいっていうのがありました。そのさっき東京の都市をいろいろと混ぜるみたいな話をしたと思うんですけれど、それというのもその僕たちも知ってる街なんだけれどちょっとおかしいみたいなそういった異質さを出したいっていうのがありまして、なので東京タワーも僕たちは知ってるものだけどすごく大きなこんな大きなサイズじゃないんだけどこういったものがこの街の中にあるってことで何かちょっと変な場所だなっていうふうに思ってほしいっていうのがありました。で大きな桜の木というのは日本を代表する桜の木なんですけど、それがあまりにも大きなサイズになっていて、これもさっきの東京タワーと同じで異質さを感じてほしいと思ってやっていることです。でこれが本作の特徴となる怪異という主人公たちに立ちはだかる敵なんですけれど、この見た目については私はその新規 IP 新しい IP の新しいクリーチャーということで変わった見た目、何か興味を引く見た目にしたいというのが一つありました。でその上で私たちの感覚とは違うものを取り入れたいというのがきっかけになりまして、実際にアーティストの力を借りてこの怪異のデザインを再現しています。でそのアーティストの表現というのはその美しさがありながらもその死の世界だとかそのネガティブなイメージとポジティブなイメージを一つにしたような幻想的な表現をする作家の方なんですけれど、また彼らの動きについてこだわっているのは私たちの知っているような生き物でありそうで生き物のようであって私たちと違うものであるというのを表現したいっていうのがあったので、動きの中に一見動物のようで急に違うような動きをするだとか人間のようでいて人間と違うような動きをするだとか、そんなモーションを取り込んでます。なのでモーションを作る時には人間っぽい部分だけはモーションキャプチャーを使ってるんですけど、そうでない部分は手付けなどにしてその人間の動きとそうでない動きをミックスさせることで不思議な動きにできないかなというのを考えていました。
はい、共に新入隊員として入隊したキャラクターが2人いるというところで、同じ時系列から始まってただその同じ境遇に置かれている一つの物語をそれぞれの視点から描いていく。でそれぞれ視点で描くことで、その時片方の視点では見えなかった状況とかを別の視点では楽しんでいただける、そういうストーリーの楽しみ方を皆さんに提供したいと思って今回2人の主人公を用意しました。そして1人目がこちらですね、ゆいとすめらぎキャラクターですね。彼はですね非常に正義感が強くて、幼い頃に怪飛ばすぐに自分が怪から救われたっていう経験を持っていて、でその経験から自らも怪飛ばすぐに志願して入隊したっていうキャラクターになっています。はい、そしてもう一人がこちらのカサネランドールですね。はい、彼女はですね非常に優れた超能力を持っているもうエリートと呼ばれる、キャラクターですね。怪盗抜群からも、スカウトして入隊した、優秀なキャラクターです。左側がですねこの重ねの視点です、ね。右側がユイトの視点でなっていきますが、今重ねの視点でご覧いただいた通りちょっとユイトの姿が見えたりとかしています。で今重ねの方ですね一緒に同行しているキャラクター、このキャラクターが実は未来予知の能力を持っているキャラクターで、ちょっとこのユイトたちがやられそうだなっていうのはちょっと分かるようなシーンになっています。この頃ユイトの方は今止めてますけど、これはユイトの方では入らずに次のシーンに進んでいきます。という形で、進んでいくと、こういうふうに怪異が降ってきて同じような状況に置かれてしまう、ユイトの方ではこういうふうになってるんだなっていうのは分からずに進んでいきますが、重ねの方ではやっぱりそうなったかっていう形で 物語が進行していきますね。こういうふうにこう同じ一つのシーンでもですね、それぞれがこう、つながりを持って感じられる、そういうふうなストーリーラインを作ろうとして、今回のこの企画から今こう発売までっていうところでもうほぼ4年以上かかってるんですけれども、このストーリーラインというところももちろん企画の最初からこう作っていってはいるんですけど、非常にこの多くの時間を要していて、もうこの2人のこのストーリーこう緻密にこういうふうにこう絡み合ったつながりを持った一つのストーリーとして完成させるまでにやはり2年から3年の歳月を要しております。であとはですね、アクションの部分に関しても、開発チームとすごく議論して決めてまして、特にこの念力アクションもどういうふうな念力を使えたら皆さんが分かりやすく直感的にこう気持ちよくなってもらえるかっていうところは、非常にこう開発の中でもですね議論を重ねてできてきた部分がありますので、この念力を使うユニットと重ねのこのストーリーですね、物語っていうのをぜひ楽しんでもらえればと思います。
Oh shit, the UPS and the DoorDash guy are gonna have to say hi to each other,
サイボーグ009とかいろんなキャラクターがいろんな能力を使って戦う集団っていうものが大好きで、そういうそのいろんな能力を使う集団を改めてそのゲーム化したいっていう思いで企画を立ち上げました。あとそのサイキックアクションのもう一つの主軸としてSAS というものがあります。正式名称はストラグルアームズシステムというんですけど、その仲間キャラクターからその超能力を借り受けるシステムですね。その脳を接続して仲間キャラクターから超能力を借り受けることで、いろんな超能力をユートとかでは使えるようになります。今画面上では放電の超能力を今使おうとしているんですけど、放電の超能力だけに限らず、瞬間移動とか透明化とか、ポピュラーで誰しもがその一度は使ってみたいっていう超能力を選定してます。本作のそのキーワードとして赤い線っていうものがあるんですけど、サスを使った時にその赤いケーブルが背中に刺さってその戦うことができますの。そうですね、サスケーブルデザインする時にそのそうですね、見た人のその印象に残ってインパクトに残したいってところはまずあったんですよね。でそういった時見た時に過去タイトル見た時に例えばキングゲイナーのその刺さってるケーブルだったりとか、あとはそうですね日本のアニメのガンツなんかもそのケーブルが刺さって戦う様っていうところがすごくクールだったので、そのあたりはそのインスパイアされながらそのデザインっていうものを進めた経緯がありますね。はい、本作ですね、念力で戦うんですけど、単純に投げ飛ばすだけじゃなくて、このロケーションに置いてあるオブジェクトをいろいろ活用することができます。今工事現場にあるので、工事現場のロケーションなのでダンプを上から落としたんですけど、そのようにそのロケーションに合ったそのオブジェクトを自分なりに扱うことができるってところが、はい、ここはそうですね、ドラム缶の中から水を出して貝を水浸しにしてます。でその後そのサスの放電で戦うことで水浸しになったその貝を電気でしびれさせるということもできるので、その超能力念力とそのサスを組み合わせて戦うというところが一つ特徴となっております。しっかり遊びたい人もそのカジュアルに遊びたい人も幅広く楽しめるものとなっております。はい、プレイヤーはですねこのようにブレインフィールドっていうねその特別な必殺技を使うことができます。これはですね海抜軍が使うことができる近畿の技で非常に強力なんですけど、同時に非常に危険な技でもあります。ユートと重ねが展開することでそのオブジェクトがその空間内に浮き上がってその念力は使い放題になるんですけど、一方でその非常に強い負荷が脳にかかってしまいますね。なので自分の言動がちょっとおかしなことを言ってしまったりとか、あとは聞こえないなノイズのような幻聴が聞こえたりとか、あとこのようにその途中で頭抱えて動けなくなったりとかそういうことがあります。で加えてですねこの残り時間の秒数があるんですけど、これが制限時間が過ぎるとゲームオーバーになってしまうっていう非常に危険な技になっております。はい、なんだけどその非常に危険な技なんですけど、それをうまく使いこなして戦う自分がかっこいいっていう風な思いをプレイヤーに感じ取ってもらいたいなと思っております。 あとそのブレインフィールド発動したらフードをかぶってたくさんケーブルが刺さった異様な姿になるかなと思うんですけど、これもダークヒーローっぽいかっこよさがすごく危険な超能力を自分が扱って戦ってるってところを感じ取ってもらいたくてこのようなデザインにしております。こちらブレインマップと呼ばれるシステムになりますね。こちらはプレイヤーが成長するスキルツリーとなっております。このようにちょっと脳みその形をデザインしたツリーを意識して作ってます。で今チャージがため攻撃ができるようになりましたね。このように能力を拡張して新たなアクション、この映像の中ではため攻撃で範囲攻撃をできるようになってるんですけど、そういったアクションの拡張だけじゃなくて念力ゲージが増加する強化系のスキルだったりとか、あとはアイテムを使用した後のクールタイムが短くなるような補助スキルとかさまざまないくつかのカテゴリーのスキルを習得することができるようになってます。で脳みそを脳神経を拡張していくようなデザインにこだわっててスキルを選択してボタンをホールドすることで神経が伸びていってどんどん脳神経が拡張していくようなそういう体験になることを意識してデザインしております。ブレインマップ以外ですと基本的に通常のレベルアップで敵と戦って経験値を積むことで通常のレベルアップでパラメータが底上げされるっていうことに加えて仲間との絆ですね。仲間と絆形成することで絆の力が強くなると絆レベルというものが上がって仲間から買い受ける超能力っていうものが強力になってきます。ブレインマップと通常のレベルとあとは仲間との絆を形成して成長させるってところがこの3つがこのゲームの成長システムになっております。このゲーム武器と念力の流れるようなコンビネーションってところが一つ特徴にしているんですけど、その流れるようなコンビネーションの体験ってところがシリーズ X だと 60fps で滑らかに体験できるのでその部分はすごくリッチな体験になってるなっていうふうに感じます。開発チーム一同ねスタッフ個々が全力で携わったタイトルですのでぜひ楽しみにしていただけると嬉しいです。From my team and I, please enjoy Scarlet Nexus.
That's it. We're done. But not yet with the ads, chat, because in 15 seconds, 3 minutes of ads are about to run. And then we have to wrap JPNN up, even though there's still a bunch of news we didn't cover today, because I have a sponsored stream. You know what I'm saying? A little sponsored stream. That was pretty good, though. I mean, they set expectations, right? Like, they said what that was going to be, and I think they were pretty much, I think that was pretty much what they were going to be. In a lot of ways. I need to eat real quick. I need to eat some food. We're going to be playing a game that is not released, I don't think, yet. Or maybe it just came out today. This is, again, why we're doing the sponsored stream, chat. Let me actually go see what the... I need some background noise here. And then we'll wrap up JPNN. Let me see what the... This game was actually at, I think maybe the PC gaming event over the weekend. Oh no, it's out. It's out now. It's called Red Solstice 2 Survivors. It's like an RTS. I'm interested to see what it's about, which is why I took the sponsorship, because I haven't played an RTS in a while. So we'll find out together. We'll find out together. It just released, but we're not in sponsored mode yet because we're still in JPNN. There's not too much extra news, though, that we didn't cover. There was a lot of trailers, but tomorrow's another JPNN, so that'll be where we cover all that. We also have this new graphic, but I'm not going to show you what it is until we actually have a use for it. We'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, that's it for JPNN today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smash that sub button and ring that bell, as the kids say. And we'll see you tomorrow for more JPNN. All right? All right. Thank you so much. You have a good one now. Bye-bye.